I take pride in being a bus driver, believe it or not, because some people, they poo-poo like if you're a mechanic or this and that. I don't poo-poo anybody.
Listen,
that's
if you're
doing
passionate about whatever you do.
It's like, how are you gonna make money with music?
Yeah,
really, they were
they did.
Yeah,
You're Italian. They did this
they
too.
did. Like my aunts even got involved, and they're like, "You're gonna do accounting. You're gonna do business," and I'm like,
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like school bus driver is the best kept part-time secret. I actually do well.
Sounds like a pretty simple job. I mean, you pick the kids up, you drop them off, and then you hang out for 5 hours, and then
And during the day,
you smoke cigars.
well, yeah, I don't know if they know that, but
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Down Podcast. Today in the studio, there's a longtime listener, longtime fan, longtime supporter, longtime friend on Instagram. We've known her for quite some time now. We have Angela, a.k.a. Authentically Angela, creator of the Hudson Herf.
Hudson Valley
Herf. And she's also the creator of Puros and Music podcast.
Yeah.
She's a fellow podcaster.
Let's go.
Got a YouTube channel, got the social media, got a podcast, does cigars.
She's a mom.
We can
Fellow DJ getting out of that business.
we can relate
DJ Dolce.
we can relate to a lot of this stuff. So Angela, thank you so much for coming on the show. Welcome.
Listen, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you guys. This is so cool. I mean, I've been watching you since like the start. You guys, when you had the two, you was like a white wall behind you.
Yeah.
And,
that was
you're sitting low.
Yep.
So cool.
Were.
We've actually showed that a bunch of times of where we started and how cringe it was. We go back and I said, and some people were saying, you know what, that's actually not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah, it wasn't cringe.
Visually,
like
and even the audio was okay. But the cadence, like we had no rhythm between us. It was
now you guys are locked in. You
it
can
was
tell.
robotic. Yeah. It was bad. And I'm listening. I go, there's so many awkward pauses. Like, goo.
So Angela, you come with, not all the gifts are even here. They're on the floor. You came with boxes of stuff, cookies, bourbon. What do you got here? What'd you bring?
Let's start with this. So this is for you guys. Who wants to open it?
I do.
All right, look at this guy
right
here.
Justin likes to open that shit.
Okay,
that is a beauty right there.
What is this?
Shout out to Kings County Distillery in Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
And
I didn't even know Brooklyn had a distillery.
Yeah. They just what it is they just celebrated their 15th year, and I don't know if it's like 15 years of the new owner, because I believe it's like touted as like the oldest distillery either in the city or in the whole state. But
so this is
I don't know if they like revived the
brand.
So Kings County Distillery blended bourbon whiskey, 43% alcohol, 750 milliliters. Now it says blended bourbon batch number 3.
Well, that's some good stuff.
And it has the blend.
Lot, huh?
It has the blend mix.
Mm.
So it has 45.2% of 2-year aged straight bourbon.
Nice.
There's 23.8% of 3 to 4 year aged straight bourbon.
Nice.
There's 23.5% of 3-year straight corn whiskey. There's 4.7% of 2-year straight rye, 1.5% of 4-year straight bourbon, and 1.3% of 3-year whiskey from a malt mash. So this is quite
that's a
blend. And
Damn.
it says the whenever whiskey. Light enough to enjoy whenever the occasion might call for whiskey, yet complex enough for daily sipping.
Crack that bad boy open.
This blended bourbon is
sure.
a thoughtful revival of an all but lost category of American whiskey.
Yeah.
Nice.
In here we pour whiskey.
Yeah.
Have you know that's from?
Have you been to that distillery?
Yeah, they just had a big event.
Because there's another one in
Does
Manhattan.
anybody know the reference?
My roots are from Brooklyn.
I can open it straight up right now.
Henry Street. Shout out to Henry Street, cheaper place right off of Atlantic Avenue there. So now I'm upstate, in the Hudson Valley. But whenever I get a chance to go back to Brooklyn, that just fills my heart. Walk the streets, this and that. So it's right. That's at the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, I used
right
to have a customer there.
Oh, cool.
Have you heard of the Great Jones Distilling Company?
Ooh, is that in the city as well?
Yeah,
give me your.
I'm not sure.
Give me your glasses.
All right,
there,
chin.
folks.
We're gonna.
Hold on.
That's it.
We gotta
like
start this off. Oh,
it looks crazy.
thank you,
it's
Justin.
Have you ever heard the? So what I had said
Thank
earlier.
you,
In here we pour whiskey.
Yeah.
Do you know where that's from?
That's from definitely a movie I
That
can't
is
recall.
from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
When he goes back in time to the old west and he's like, What do you want to drink? He's like, can I get ice water? Ice water? You want water? Go stick your head out in the horse trough. In here, we pour whiskey.
Well, Angela, cheers, chin chin, and salud. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Okay, let's try it.
Cheers.
Let's go. Let's coat the mouth first.
First one down. Second one.
Sniffy sniff. Nice. It's some powerful stuff.
Let's see.
I gotta light this so we could sip
I
and
do like that.
puff.
I do
Yeah.
like that. Wow. And I can put that right here so you can see it on the camera. Perfect.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad. And then what I did was
Ooh.
That's strong.
In here, we pour. Now that's whiskey.
That'll put a little hair on your chest. Cause
That's like in the words of Cigar Boss Man. That's some in lead.
Yeah, shout out
Lead.
to Sean. That's some lead for sure.
fill us
Wow.
up. Fill us up.
Okay, and then what do we
Damn.
got?
I just, it's holiday season over here. Easter. I don't know when you're up and at it, but just some local Easter cookies.
Oh my goodness.
You know I got
Butter
sweet tooth.
cookies?
Oh,
we got
Shaped
break.
like Easter
Can
eggs
we break
and
into
stuff.
these right now?
Yeah,
This
of course.
you know what? I'm just gonna I'll
Look
open
at
it. Which one is this? I want to just say this one's called Planeta. I think it's pronounced. I could be wrong, but I
I
wanted.
gotta love somebody who comes bearing gifts.
Well,
I mean-
I didn't realize you were Sicilian. That's really cool. You're part Italian, part
Look at these
half
cookies,
Italian,
dude.
quarter Irish, quarter Scandinavian.
I'm going for this
Beautiful.
one right here. This
Listen, we're all family in here, but cigar family. But I'm 100% Sicilian American, so I just want to kind of share. This is from Sicily.
Love it.
I'm
and,
a huge wine drinker.
Yeah, I have another bottle in there,
huge
but we don't.
Italian wine drinker.
It's got the tag on top. It's got the official.
So
what do you call
it is DOCG, which
Yeah.
is when you're looking for Italian wine, make sure you look for this one. Okay,
There you go.
Super Tuscans are not going to really have it because they don't. Super Tuscans are kind of
You're
like
talking to a wine snob.
I love
So-
it. That's why I figured I got 2 bottles because I was
Yeah.
like, Justin, I got to represent.
so. Super Tuscans were basically like they're like a blend, and there's like a way that you're supposed to make wine in Italy, and the Super Tuscan people were like, nah, fuck that, we're not doing that. We're gonna do our own shit, and they call it that. So that's why they don't have that. But so this is red wine, 60% Nero d'Avola, and then 40% Frappato, which is.
And this is 100% sugar, 100% chocolate, and 100% goodness. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Thank you, Angela.
Oh, my pleasure. Like I said.
Thanks, Angela. Bourbon, wine, cookies. Yeah,
Get
we
it
like
on.
that.
Oh my
So,
God.
Angela, we got you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
What do we?
We've known each other for a while. We've always communicated on social media. We've been to a couple of events together. Who is Angela? What's
Well-
the story? What's the autobiography of Angela?
I'll tell you what,
Let's start there.
I'm a Gen X, so I'm not going to say my exact age, but I am Gen X. When I off camera, I was telling these guys, I'm like, I'm the truest form of what a latchkey kid was.
By the way, I don't mean to interrupt really quick.
Listen,
I have to interrupt right off the bat because I just noticed this.
what happened?
Is that fingernail intentional that you're smoking the blueprint and have blue fingernail?
Yeah.
No,
Sometimes
is
I
it?
do. Well, I did blue. It's kind of chipping because it's. Yeah, I knew I was coming, but I do different colors. I like
Bro.
to represent.
I just noticed that. I'm like,
I saw it before. I didn't put it
Sorry.
together though.
I know.
Yeah, I was like, do I do an Easter color or do I do blue?
Now that's
Blueprint.
cool. That's
I
a
mean,
first.
come
That's
on.
a first.
Attention
intro.
to detail.
Okay.
Listen,
So, continue on with who
this is
Angela?
one of my. Listen, I got you on my top 25 of 2024. This one right
know,
here.
yeah, number
I
25.
can't.
25,
You know,
number 25.
no, you're there. You're there.
Are
But
we top 10?
I probably. I mean, this thing's a banger.
Thank you.
Oh,
Angela.
well, she hasn't released it yet. Have you released it yet?
Yeah, I don't remember, but tell you the truth, I don't remember the numbers because
Is it on your site?
Oh, he's going.
Well, let's hear her story. All right, we don't have to do about us. We can look at our own time. Let's hear about Angela. She's a
Listen,
latchkey kid.
It's
Go ahead,
excellent,
go
no matter what. Yeah. So.
And what does a latchkey kid mean for
oh,
people that don't
really?
know?
Oh, just for the people.
Some people might not know what that is.
The latch, just the door latch and the key that you wore around your neck. But you know, you come home from school and nobody was home, and actually nobody was home, and I'm the firstborn, so I had to be mom to my sister and brother. Which, hey, looking back, it was all good. And also, I do come from how people say like I walked a mile to school or
Yeah.
the bus.
I
like,
did walk to school.
Yeah, I did. Well, you walk. I had to really walk like a long block to the bus.
Mine wasn't like that
'Cause
long. Maybe
it was
half a
like-
mile or
There's
so.
no school
Yeah.
bus?
No, to the bus.
Oh, to the bus.
Back in the day, because now actually, I will say this: I'm a part-time bus driver now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that's like my side hustle.
City bus or like school bus?
School bus, K through 12. But the thing is, now
You give out cigars as like You know,
Should
have a
be-
good day at school.
I wish
Hey.
I could smoke a cigar as I'm
Oh
driving.
my
I drive the
gosh,
big
could
ass
you-
bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That go over real well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's like what I'm doing now. You know, I left like the corporate world. I left a lot of things behind me to do me.
Good for
I
you.
think the pandemic gave me like a rebirth of myself
Nice.
in a good way. But anyhow, I digress because all I'm saying is today, the kids they get picked up at their house, and that kind of puts me off because
Yeah.
I'm like the
I
corner is 2 houses
You know what?
down,
That's funny because
and you
that's-
have a house stop.
That's great that something you say because I
I
noticed
can't.
that where it's like the bus will just stop in the middle of the freaking road,
Mm.
and even like on a main road up here, they'll stop, and I go, whatever happened to there's like a local bus stop, and all the kids had to walk
Yeah.
to the
What
bus
happened
stop.
to that? Why isn't that anymore?
I guess I don't know.
Well, when the parents call up,
Yeah. It's all about the parents.
they get the yes.
It's all about the
The
parents.
parents. Now listen,
I would be like
the
you
parents.
kids walk into the
Yeah.
bus stop. You can
Yeah.
walk to 47 feet. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. But it
Doesn't-
is. What,
doesn't
we,
work like
you
that
know,
in
we're not
schools.
here to talk schools, but
A lot of politics in school.
yeah.
Oh, that's why, dude. That's why, like, having a kid now, I'm like, there is no fucking way I'm putting my kid in public school with the shit that's going on. There is no way. I can't see myself doing it. That's a conversation for another day, though. Just can't see it.
That's why good school systems are important.
That's why good school systems are important. Because if you look at some of the public, you're like, what?
Great area, bad school. Great area, good school district though.
Yeah, right.
100%.
I feel like that's the first thing you look for, right? If you like moving to a new town,
Well, yeah. If you ever
Yeah.
good school district. Where's the
low taxes?
low tax? Right. Good school district. Good neighborhood. Where's the church? Does it got a good pizzeria? Good
Oh,
Chinese.
good.
Like,
I pizza's okay by me upstate, but it's, you know, when I was just down at the distillery, the pizza down, you can't
yeah.
beat the thin bubbly crust and the fire, you know,
Fire cooked pizza.
in
Fire
Brooklyn,
flame.
you can't beat it. But
best pizza ever is Sauce on East 12th. It's the best pizza ever had.
Never heard, never been.
never been.
Anyway, all right, we got to get back on track.
No,
here.
it's all good. It's all
okay.
good.
You're a latchkey kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about because we want to know
She was saying kids get picked up at the bus stop now. I
Yeah.
mean,
At the house.
at the household
Yeah.
now, which is
Which I can't even handle it myself, but it is what it is.
yeah. You go from having like maybe 5 stops on your route to 25 now. You have 25 different houses.
Yeah. I even
What
had
are you laughing
a
at?
couple-
What the
What
are you
happened?
laughing at?
We're trying to get Angela to talk. She
No.
starts talking,
I
and
know.
then you talk again.
Well, I wanted to know about her life, how she came up, and you said the bus stops.
That's where she was going, my friend.
I know. Well,
She
no,
was-
that was a whole different time. She was saying now I'm a bus driver. I want to talk about how we got into cigars and
We always like to see where they got to, where they started from. So,
Well, that's what she said. Now we haven't even gotten to where she's started.
because someone just keeps talking.
She didn't start as a bus stop driver.
Someone keeps
okay?
talking, interrupting.
She's
No.
that's just
I
now.
have an MBA. I actually used to teach business writing at a college, Mount St. Mary College, for a minute there. But just like I said, the pandemic, this and that. As a mom, I kind of had an epiphany. I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I need the hours. My sons, I need to see them for Christmas. I need to see them in the summer because I was working like, I think, right?
Yeah.
You're both in sales,
No,
so
I
you
know
understand.
exactly what
And
you're
now
talking
your
about.
parents, but I was working like day and night and day, and I was like getting home and they were already asleep, and that kind of was eating at me.
Sure.
So I just said, I have no, I take pride in being a bus driver, believe it or not, because some people, they poo-poo like if you're a mechanic or this and that. I don't poo-poo anybody.
Listen,
that's
if
Be
you
doing it.
passionate about whatever you do.
yeah, if you like
Yeah.
to do that, by all means, right? Like what you said before we turned, you're a big Gary Vee fan, right? Before we turned on the cameras, Gary Vee always talks about how he goes, I know people that make $1 million a year and are miserable. He goes,
True.
and I know people that make $40,000 a year and are happy as a clam. They love their life.
Yeah.
He goes, because if that is what you enjoy doing and it provides you with the lifestyle that you want, then what does it matter? If you only need $40,000 a year to be happy,
Yeah,
and
100%.
and it provides it, because some people maybe you want to go on a lot of vacations, so you want to make a little bit more money, and you enjoy doing that, and that provides a lifestyle you want. But some people are like, I don't want that. I just want to sit on a freaking rocking chair in the middle of the woods somewhere, and I'm cool with $40,000 a year. So if it makes you happy,
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's
True.
important. Life insurance. Now I have to say, do you have it Do you have it?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
All right. Well, you're a dad now, so you're gonna get it.
I have all the
just feel-
paperwork. I haven't filled it out yet.
Because I just feel like, and that was in my old business world, but I just feel like that's like I could rest easy. Like if I go tomorrow, I know at least my kids won't be homeless. The money will cover the house.
I actually
so you know
just
what I mean?
set that up for my son.
Yeah, because
too,
you can't like take it with you when you go. But as long as you feel like your family is set up, or you're not.
I tell that to my parents all the time. My mom, like when my dad and my stepmom, when they retired, they were always like, "Oh, we're thinking about going here. We're thinking about going." I said, "Dad, go everywhere." I'm like, if you're trying to save your money to like pass on an inheritance, I said, the money. I don't need the money.
Yeah.
You spend it. I hope that when you go, you don't have a penny left to give me because you spent it all traveling. I said, go.
What a good son.
I said, just because you can't take it with you.
Can't.
And what? Like you're gonna say, hey, here's X amount of. I would be like, no, I don't want the money. I want you to have enjoyed the. You worked so long to not enjoy it, to give me some money. No, like you know what I'm saying.
Totally.
Spend it. Enjoy your life.
As long as like we said, as long as you can cover your living expense.
Oh, cover.
And
like,
you're not like this and that, but
as long as as long as you don't leave like a gazillion dollars in debt. 'Cause,
no,
you racked up. You know what I'm saying? But
so yeah, you're gonna get that because you're a dad now.
Absolutely.
Let's look at it. I'm selling this to Eric here.
But, you sell life insurance? Is that what you do?
No, I used to do that back in the day. A whole bunch of crazy stuff. Back in the day when you'd sell $200,000 worth of stuff, and my boss would be like, the regional manager. Because actually, at one time I also was a manager, but the regional comes flying in, and they're like, "Can you sell 400,000?" I'm like, "I'm out. I mean, like I'm gonna make money for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make money for you."
And did that ever like?
So then I started Hudson Valley Herf. I started my DJ company. Like I just was like, I'm out.
How long ago did you start that? How long did you start?
Well,
Hudson Valley Herf?
I was DJing on the side, believe it or not, since 1998. And
what kind of music were you specialized in?
All, because I do Sweet 16s. So all, honestly,
do DJs
all.
specialize in music?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they put out like like in the pandemic, I did like live. I
DJ sessions,
like live mixes and stuff.
Yeah, I did it on
Twitch.
Think
about like Tiesto. You know who Tiesto is?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
He's a DJ, but he's house music. He's house and dance music.
Yeah.
He doesn't do
but I'm talking about like
hip hop.
I'm thinking more like
party
DJs,
like a party
Sweet
DJ.
16s.
Yeah,
school,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
There's no real niche. But
if you are putting out,
then
but if you are putting out your own mixes and stuff, then you're.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing like clubs and stuff, certain clubs are more house, certain clubs are more hip hop.
Totally.
Like I remember in City Lavo was more of like a house type of vibe, and then Tao was more of like the hip hop kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's how I like.
Well, okay. Let me ask you a better question. What style did you like the most? Like, what style did you like mixing in the different tracks?
I'm a weird. I play like I've been playing piano since I was a little girl, and so like Yanni, remember him? You guys they're younger than me, but
no, that sounds
it does sound familiar.
But I mean, I like how you guys love Frank and stuff. Like Frank Sinatra. Like I like anything from like hard rock. I grew up on like Metallica, so it really depends on.
You a Van Halen fan?
Oh, I was a Pan of Angela. They used to sing that to me. I had the 1984 on vinyl. My dad got it for me. I was in 5th grade. It was like my birthday or something. I remember just getting that album.
I love
it. Was
Do you listen like Motley Crue? Not so much.
My son plays Motley. No, I'm thinking Megadeth because there was
that more like
Metallica.
Yeah.
Battle.
Yeah, you're
when I was
a little
in
bit
school.
more like a little bit more on the metal side, not so much the hard rock side. But if you liked Van Halen, you should 100%. Listen to Eddie Van Halen's son. Mammoth WVH. So his son Wolfgang Van Halen has a band called Mammoth WVH.
Yeah.
Wolfgang Van.
Yeah.
And his first album he put out, he did all of the tracks. So he filmed himself. He just put a camera up, and he filmed himself playing lead guitar and singing.
Yeah.
And he didn't move the camera. Filmed the song again playing bass. Filmed the song again playing drums, and then spliced the two together. So it's all three of them. And he did the whole.
He's so talented.
But he sounds just like Van Halen, and it rocks. If you like Van Halen, you would love this track.
That's like that band Greta Van Fleet. That sounds just like Jimmy James Plant from
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I tricked my dad one time. Like, Dad, you ever hear this Led Zeppelin song? And it was the beginning of the song. He yells, "Ah!" And he's like, "No, I haven't heard this." He's like, "What song is this?" I'm like,
Because it's not Led
I
Zeppelin.
said, "It's not Led Zeppelin."
Yeah.
But it sounds just like him.
So you're okay. So you're like a 80s hard rock, maybe a little bit of hair metal.
Yeah, because like Madonna falls in there really for me. I mean, that's that's what I grew up on though. I mean,
Madonna.
that's
Come on, 80s baby.
Yeah, come on. I mean, MTV when MTV.
Were you a Prince fan then?
You know what's crazy? I understand Prince as a musician myself. Like I understand
He's like
yeah. But you
unbelievable.
want to know what's crazy for me? Because people always, my friends make fun of me because of my parents' divorce. Certain songs of that time, it triggers me. Isn't that crazy?
So Prince is like
Sure.
one of
Yeah,
the,
so
Sure.
I'm not,
I get you.
I'm
I
not-
feel you.
Yeah, it's like it really does. I'll hear certain something, and I'm like,
But as a
"Ugh."
musician,
A little trauma.
But I know he's incredible.
He's
I know he's incredible, and he's definitely of like when I was young.
But isn't that wild how music will do that to you?
Oh yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it brings
You
you,
ever
back
get
memories.
smells that do that to you?
And
like,
stuff.
You ever walk into a place and it smells like, whoa, this is like I did. It happened a little while ago. I walked in and it smelled just like my grandmother from Germany. What her house smelled like, and I was like, what is that? Instantly, I'm like, back there. I go, what is that smell?
Nah,
That's
I
cool.
remember
Wild.
like
That's
mouthwash reminded me of my grandfather's house for some reason. His bathroom always stunk of like that blue
Yes.
mouthwash,
Like the
all-
alcohol mouthwash,
Damn,
not
crazy
like
stuff. Crazy stuff.
So that's so, but yeah, because as a musician, you have to appreciate Prince. I still think that he did one of the best halftime shows for the Super Bowl ever.
I don't disagree.
And
for
he
sure.
could just shred guitar. Anyway, so
That's why I'm Puros and Music, my podcast, because I like to blend the two, and I like to actually talk about Van Halen, and we do like a debate of like Sammy Hagar versus like
Okay.
David Lee Roth, and
Yeah.
where do you fall on that, and you know,
Sammy Hagar's good too.
because at that time when you lived through it, it was like, oh, who's this clown? Not, not. I'm a big fan, and I get excuse me.
What happened? Just burped
Burped a little bit.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
It's all right.
It happens.
But
We farted on the show before. Eric's done it.
have I?
I don't know. Probably.
You just fucking throwing random shit out there. Eric's fine on the
Eric.
podcast.
Talked about shit in your pants on the podcast, though.
Oh, we're not. We know
Eric's
that
like,
happened
no,
last time. Not this. That's
Not up in
happened
here.
to me.
Not up in here.
But
The things we
when
talk
that was
about on the
happening,
show.
no, it's cool. With Sammy Hagar, I like his tequila actually. Do you
I
support
didn't
it?
know he had a tequila.
Oh yeah.
I love tequila.
Oh,
I love tequila.
see, next time I'll bring that. But
You like tequila?
you know why I love it? Because it doesn't. I don't get a hangover from it.
If you have good stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Blanco too.
I'll
Are you going up to the event in Saratoga?
Dude, that's me.
Yeah, are you
Yeah.
going to that? Havana
That's-
Nights in the Spa City?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm part of.
Yeah, we're going to be on the
Are you
rooftop
DJ?
VIP.
Are you, no,
I'm just gonna
I
be
thought
present.
Okay.
I'm.
Are you getting VIP tickets?
I'm
You
like
going up top?
Well, I'm like a guest with Jesse.
Guest of honor.
Nice.
Perfect.
Because him and I.
Yeah, because we're going to
I'm
be
like
in the
behind the scenes with that.
Shout out to Havana Nights in the Spa City, okay? Saratoga, June
21st.
21st.
Mm.
Get your tickets. It's gonna be nuts, okay? And make sure you get VIP tickets if you want to meet yours truly. We will be on the rooftop in the VIP lounge,
Hanging out.
hanging out. And if you get the VIP tickets, then you'll get entered into the VIP raffle where you can win a whole bunch of stuff that we're gonna be giving away. All right. That's gonna be awesome. There's gonna
So
be
we'll
food,
see you there.
drinks, music, 3 different levels. It's gonna be nuts. Okay.
Gonna be dope.
It's gonna be awesome. What was I gonna say?
So talking about the tequila.
The tequila. Oh, so if you like tequila, when we go inside later, I give her the Cava de Oro. That I gave this to Eric. Eric was like, "Bro, this isn't tequila." I said, "No, this is tequila."
So nice and sweet.
He's like,
Nice.
"This is like syrup. It's
Oh.
but it's
Yeah.
an extra. It's so with tequila. There's the Blanco Reposado Añejo. Then there's extra Añejo, and this is an extra Añejo, and
Oh.
it looks like this.
Oh, beautiful. I've never had the extra.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Cool.
that one too is great with a cigar. Great with a cigar.
Nice.
So, okay. So we were at music, all right? So you were a musician. You got into DJ and stuff. And I love it. This is how the conversations. I love it. It's great. We go about everything. We go all over the place. I was really excited for this cigar, by the way. I was like, for this cigar,
Interaction.
yeah. It's,
Oh, thanks. Yeah, me too.
I was very
And the more I keep sipping on this, something might happen. I don't know what is going to fall out of my mouth.
That's why I got the cameras rolling, baby. You never know.
So, Okay, so talk to us about.
What we said when I was young.
Yeah,
we
like,
went from latchkey.
Yeah,
around.
We're totally like we're all over the place. We're drinking and driving right now. We're all over the road.
Hey, don't talk about that.
Triggered.
Okay. We want to know about how you got. Was your upbringing and how you said that you were in the corporate world. And this I love because this is a great story. How you come up into the corporate world and then the pandemic hits and you're like, you know what, this isn't me. I've gotten almost lost in this sauce, and I don't want to do this anymore. I need to take back me and my time for my family. What did you do at that point? Like, you went from the corporate world and you said, I'm gone.
Yeah, because the way you said lost, I'm going to say this. As my parent, I'm the firstborn, right? And my father was an accountant. He still is, actually. But when I first went to school, I was a music major. Well, first I went to, shout out Nassau Community College because we're on Long Island.
NCC.
Yeah. I did get my associates and kind of just like a general ed.
Well, that's why you go to NCC.
I loved every minute of it. And
I went to Suffolk Community College.
All right.
Pound it.
But did you go after that, or you went 4 years at Suffolk?
I went to Post.
You went to, that's nice. Right. You went to Post. That's right.
Oh, there's a story about
Suffolk's
that.
Suffolk's only 2 years.
No, I know, but I didn't know if you went I didn't mean 4 years. I meant if you did your associates and then if you went.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
2 years at Suffolk, then went to Post.
And then I went up to SUNY New Paltz.
I got a buddy that went there too.
Yeah. And
cool.
That's kind of what brought me upstate in the Hudson Valley area. I went to New Paltz to finish my bachelor's, and I was a music major at first, and I was in. Oh, it was so great, guys.
What was the major? Like you were
music therapy.
Music therapy.
As like
music.
I got a friend who does that. Music therapy.
So I and I was like playing piano a lot. And there was like piano room. You like hit the code on the door because you couldn't just that anyone off the street couldn't go into like practice. So you get the code, and if you're a student, this and that. So they had grand pianos, and like you could in just a piano in a room like this, like just and you do the code and you go and you play. But then like
so, is there a noticeable difference? Because I saw this guy on YouTube or Instagram Reel or something. You've probably seen this guy.
I know what you're gonna say.
He plays and he looks.
Is he on TikTok too?
I think so.
He's like blonde.
I don't know, but he's like this guy who just stares at the camera and plays.
Oh, not that guy.
But he did something where he showed the difference between like $100 entry level piano and $1,000 piano and a $10,000 and a $50,000 and a $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there really a notice? Like when playing it wise, like I can hear the sound because I was a drummer, but I could hear it. When you're in music all the time, you can hear it.
Sure.
So I can hear some of the notable differences, but the feel of it.
I'd say yes.
There's a big
I'd say
feel?
Yes. I mean, I never heard of like that price, that high
well,
price.
No,
but like because Steinway or Yamaha, or I have a Sommer and Son. I have a very specific. I actually have like an upright, baby grand harp in an upright. So I have like if you ever seen like an like Coldplay, he sits at that piano.
Yeah.
That type, not like what like Lady Gaga plays with.
Not
like,
where
the
it's the long,
or like Elton John. So I have it's like special. My father got it for me when I was like 6 years old. So if it wasn't for him realizing,
and you still
because
play.
my mom was like, we're not spending money on this. So he was like, we are. Because I was very like,
you're not spending money. I'm spending
money.
money.
I was like, yeah. But I was begging my parents. I mean, because growing up here, right, Hicksville, Bethpage, Billy Joel, I just was obsessed. So anyhow, this and that. But yeah, there's a difference. And so I have
what's like the feeling different?
Well, there's like the weighted keys.
Is it like smoother to press them?
Yeah, and the harp, like if like a harp. Like that's what's inside the piano. I don't know if you've ever seen.
Well, piano's a percussion instrument, actually.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because you hit the strings with a hammer.
That's right.
That's why, and it's like they dub a percussion instrument where it's the harder you press, the louder the noise.
Yeah.
So it's like the harder you press the keys, the louder the hammer hits, and it's
yeah. I seen the inside.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Where it's just
so
like
beautiful.
You're hitting string. It's a string instrument that you're hammering, kind of like you're plucking. That's pretty cool. So you can actually feel.
I would say, and and there's like a vibe, and the wood, and like the encasement of like the housing of the harp. That's why like a baby grand or a grand gives you a different sound because the harp is bigger.
I feel like it. Yeah, I've heard some of.
It's just so nice.
Like I could hear the difference between maybe not the like the one level. Like I can hear the difference from the entry level
Yeah.
to like
Oh,
the
100.
beautiful grand piano. I can hear that difference.
Yeah, 100%.
But the difference between like a 1,000 and a 10,000, I'm like, I don't really know.
I would have no clue.
No, you can hear the difference between. I'll play it for you after. If you get like $100 piano or $500 piano, and you get like a $200,000 beautiful, you can hear the difference. You're like, whoa. But the little like the one level up, she could probably hear it. We can't.
So music therapy was the major.
At the time.
So what is that actually considered?
Well,
That's a
I'm
good
going to tell you,
question.
I
I
was
asked that
only
too.
in it for 2 semesters because the way my life fell, I had to end up going to school at night and work during the day. That's kind of what started my corporate world at the time. I worked at a bank entry level and then finished up Newport's at night.
Okay.
So because there was like a shift, and plus my family was like, how are you going to make money with music?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
really.
did
They
this.
were
You
like,
know they did.
Yeah.
You're Italian. They did this
They
too.
did. They were like, "Are you kidding me?" And they
They're
were
like, "My
literally
God."
pounding it down. My aunts even got involved, and they're like, "You're gonna do accounting. You're gonna do business." And I'm like,
What's wrong with you?
"Yeah." I'm like, I got a
Where'd that
business
roll
degree.
coming from?
Yeah, I got a business degree from Newport's, but it kind of was the way it felt. Cause
So you went to Suffolk?
no,
Where, like-
Nassau.
I'm sorry, Nassau. You went to Suffolk. Nassau General Studies,
Represent the
Then you
green,
said-
the orange and blue.
Orange, and then what's Newport's?
What do you mean, like
The mask. What's the mascot?
the Hawks?
The Hawks. Okay, we played them. I was RIT. We played the Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played them.
Yeah.
And so you went to Nassau,
How come I went out
and
here?
then
You're the
you were
guest. You're
kind of
talking.
I know.
so at Nassau. You were kind of like, I'm not really sure. I was just general studies, not really sure. Did you have an inkling of doing music?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe-
I've been
yeah.
playing it
So
literally
then you
my
go
whole
to
life.
then you go to SUNY like, hey, I'm gonna do music, and then you did 2 semesters of music, and you're like, and
Well,
switched
life
to-
happened.
Okay, you had to switch. it.
Money happened. Like money.
Yeah,
in
so you're
life.
like, I got to do music therapy and make no money, or
Well, I mean, like I had to work
She had a lifestyle change.
and
Yeah.
pay for school, and this and that.
so you get your MBA, right?
Well, I got my bachelor's,
Got your bachelor's.
and then I worked for a minute, and then I got my master's. I got my master's in
Same school.
entrepreneur and marketing.
Same school.
No, I went from Newport's to Mount St. Mary,
Mount St. Mary. Okay.
Where's that?
upstate.
Upstate?
Yeah,
Where upstate?
Newburgh.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then so
Beautiful campus.
So now, so you graduate. You have your MBA. Then you said you went into. You just went into business.
I was in
well,
banking and like
in the corporate world.
yeah,
You went to the corporate world.
retirement. I was licensed
So now, how long did you do that?
long.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time in the banking industry.
So were you
Well over a decade.
well over a decade?
well
Okay.
over.
So
Did
you
you like anything about it?
Yeah, at the time I did, but also my kids. Until my kids were born, then
Then it changed.
I love what I was doing until I became a mom. I think just everything shifted,
Oh my goodness!
and then
I
it started to become like
One
when my
hundred percent
It
can
all-
relate to that.
Yeah.
I think that's what almost everyone.
Oh
goes
my
to.
goodness! When
Yeah.
I tried to tell this to some of my, I always, I hate to be that person because I would
It's
tell
so
Eric
true.
this too. Like when we were before we had kids, and even when you're pregnant, the people that do have kids, some of them almost speak condescending to you, like. When you're doing like, oh, wait till you have kids, you'll realize. Wait till you have kids, you'll get it. Wait till you have kids.
Yeah, you're
Almost
like-
or like they'll look at each other. People that have kids, they go, he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't get
know.
it.
He doesn't get it. And I hated that. Instead of just being like, oh, listen, it'll be a little bit of a shift. Like, yeah, I know it's going to be a shift. I'm not so naive to think that my life's not going to change with a kid. Like, do you really think I'm not? But I will say that when you had mentioned when you have your kids, it's like a shift.
it is.
The amount of shit that I do not care about is like something I'm like, I really don't give a shit. Like all I care about is my family right here. Like that's it. Like like all
It's
the other
wild.
stuff that you thought you like worried about, you're like,
Yeah,
I really-
it's
yeah,
absolutely
it's what it
wild.
it's like
Because I was at my desk at this time. I was at a certain bank, and I would like travel to different banks, because I had to make sales with the retirement products and stuff. I was at my desk. I already had my kid. I have twins, but I saw like the buses come out of the high school by my job, and they were just like the 20 buses just, and I had an epiphany, and I was like, I went in my suit. I had, now I'm more relaxed, but I used to wear like heels and a suit and makeup every day. Now, I'm wearing makeup now, but I don't wear makeup hardly anymore. But you don't need makeup to drive a bus. But I was like, just had an epiphany. Like, I'm going to do that. So I would go to get my CDL. I would go after work. I'd have my suit on. I'd go where like, you're learning about like air brakes and, truck drivers. Because I went to a CDL driving school.
Can you drive a truck?
No.
Just,
but I could drive a box truck, but I can't drive an 18-wheeler. But I do have a CDL. But I kind of want to. I do want to do that one day. It's just like another thing on my bucket list. But my one son goes. He's like, Mama, I don't say that. He's like, I don't want you to drive an 18-wheeler because he's like nervous. When you stop. He's like, you're gonna like get killed.
No, listen.
Because I'm like 5'2", so he's like,
you won't get. Whoever you hit is gonna get.
Yeah, you're in an
18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think he meant like when I was stopping to sleep. He got nervous.
Oh, no.
Like when you're in like the middle of like nowhere.
Yeah. You go to a truck stop. My father-in-law's a truck driver.
Oh, I'm into it. I told him, I said, listen, I might turn 60 one day and decide I'm going to drive an 18-wheeler.
If you ever need somebody to teach you how to do it, my father-in-law has been doing it his entire life, and he loves it.
Freedom. It's a lot of freedom.
I feel like a lot of truck drivers love
It's a lot of
You know
freedom.
why?
And you can
'Cause he
smoke a
just-
cigar when you're in
He loves
there.
the open road, man. I mean, he's got his vape thing, but he just loves the open road. And like, you'll be on the phone with your.
I used to talk to a guy on social media. He was a listener to the podcast, but he was a truck driver, and he would always post pictures of him smoking cigars in his truck. He would have his little humidor in his truck and live life.
Yeah, and my father-in-law's got. So my father-in-law is the driver, and then my mother-in-law, his wife, she handles all the paperwork. So they work together for the same company. She'll do all like the paperwork and make sure all the. And he's like, I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to. I just want to just tell me where I got to drive to. Give me point A and point B. I don't even want. He goes, I don't even want to know what I'm hauling. Just hook it up and tell me where to go. And he's like, I'm gonna put on my highway country and just drive. And that's all he wants to do. So she handles all of that, and he just drives.
Yeah.
And they have a sleeper cab too, which for those that don't know. Trucks there's the half cab and then there's the full cab, which is you have a sleeper cab where
cool.
You have your
I feel like it is cool.
Your front seat, right? And then
freedom.
Behind you have basically a studio apartment. And some of them are so extravagant. They have bunk beds, they have a kitchen, like full. Some of them have a bathroom in it. It's it's wild. So he's got his.
Wait, you have a bathroom in a?
Some of them can. Some of the newer ones are wild now.
Wow.
But he's got his little double bed that. So when they pull up to a truck stop, they close it all up. They cook their dinner. They have a TV in it, and I'm like,
gotta watch out for lot lizards.
But he also has a.
What's that?
Lot lizard.
Yeah.
Lot lizard is.
In what state is that?
That's a whole country thing.
That's
a lot lizard is a woman of the night that prowls around the lots of all the truck drivers.
Yeah.
Called lot lizards.
Oh, I know.
But anyway, so if you ever want to like. He could teach you, but it's great. So you had this epiphany saying,
That's a pretty interesting epiphany.
Yeah, it is.
I literally had an epiphany, because I wasn't seeing my kids, and like it was a Christmas that I just didn't see them at all.
Because you're a banker, so those are banking hours, and those are long hours.
Well, when you're doing sales too, because it was
and
like
sales is even longer because there's no real set schedule per se.
Yeah,
I hate that there's no. That drives me nuts.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
No, well, I work for a global company, and the American headquarters is in California, and the global headquarters is in
that's
Japan, and I'm on the East Coast, so I get fucked.
Well, I'm talking about actual
Sunday.
sales, people, sales people wake up and they don't have to start at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
They can start at 11 o'clock. If
100%. Because that's kind of what I'm doing now with like the cigars and the podcast, and I'm traveling all around. I'm like from Brooklyn to way above Albany, Saratoga. I mean, I go to a lot of places to meet the cigar makers, the blenders, and I interview them. So, but in that sense, I don't mind that. But it's just that, but the schedule is mine, not a boss.
When you
telling me.
that's the biggest
That's
thing.
the whole
making
thing.
By the way, shout out to James and Sons Tobacco of Saratoga.
100%.
They are the newest.
I have their lighter somewhere.
They are the newest
BDC partner.
Yeah, BDC partner. So Burn Down Cigars. They are newest carrier of Blueprints and Diligence.
I saw that. Yeah.
So shout out to them.
Mo.
And that's so wild.
Mo, yeah.
It's so wild because, like, to think my wife and I, we love Saratoga Springs. We want to eventually move up there. I mean, we're looking at some property up in area like Indian Lake area over there, maybe Lake
so
George
nice,
or something. Beautiful area up there. And
wait, you're gonna like as a second home, or
right now it's a second home while the kids are
are
young, right? Because right now, under 5 years old, they're not really going to remember anyway. But like if they were 14 and you uprooted and moved somewhere, that's a difficult age for them to move. But if they're like 4, 5,
100, yeah,
you can move
that's
with
why
them.
certain songs for Prince
You know,
I can't
so-
hear because I was like uprooted a lot.
But it's wild because I remember going up to Saratoga for the first time and walking into James and Sons. I'm like, wow, this place is great. And I was talking to the guy, and this is before we even had the blueprint. We had the podcast, but we didn't have the blueprint yet. And I remember going up there, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool.
Wow, that's serendipitous.
Yeah, and then
you're going to be part of that.
I got one better.
And then all of a sudden, like here we are, however many years later it's been since that, maybe 4 years later, they just placed it on. I'm like, I go, Kel, like
I went there 8 years ago.
Oh, I love that.
2017, I was there.
crazy.
That's when we didn't even have a podcast yet. I just had a cigar page, Instagram. And I remember I went up there for my wife's cousin's wedding, and I was like, "Oh, this place is cool."
Well, that's fine because I remember coming back from Saturday and telling you about this place. Like, yeah, I was there a couple years ago. Place
I went there
great.
in 2017,
Dude.
8 years ago.
Listen,
And you want to know
it's meant to be.
So it's even crazier.
It is meant to be.
It's even crazier than that.
You guys are going to headline. You're like headlining the whole event.
Now, I didn't even realize
I
this.
wish.
I didn't even realize this. But further back than that, I was in college. I was at RAT. This is 2011, 2012. The college right in Saratoga is Skidmore College.
Yeah.
And and I played in Skidmore College in Saratoga Springs. Had no idea I was in Saratoga Springs. Had no clue. I just went, we're playing Skidmore. Because you don't fucking know. Like, you go to the hotel and you go to the gym and then you go home.
Yeah, like a rock star.
But Skidmore, it's off of Main Street. It's right there. It's a college town. And then you go to Saratoga Springs. And then a few years later, I go to Saratoga Springs. And then a few years later than that, we're going to go
serendipity.
We're going to
as
go
Angela
back
said.
to Saratoga. So I went from playing there in college to you going there for a wedding to me going there for a little weekend vacation to now they picked up our cigars and then we're going to be going back for a.
You see that?
That's crazy.
I love that.
Full
circle.
Life is funny.
Yeah.
And that's wild because when you think about it, like obviously when I was there to play ball, if you'd have said, "Oh, you're going to have a cigar podcast," no fucking clue.
Same with me.
And
I'm
then
like, I didn't.
You were there for a wedding.
It,
If somebody told you, "Hey, you're gonna have your own cigar and do a big event here for the whole town," you'd be like, "Fucking crazy."
Yeah, the coat room.
Like-
It's big.
And now
Yeah.
it's.
Have you been there before?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Justin's fired up.
dude.
Justin's fired up.
June 21st.
I'm sorry.
Justin's
June
fired up.
I'm just gonna say thank you, Lord, for that because that's
it's meant to be. It's meant to be. It's wild when certain people say like you said how with your kids. Well, I don't know, maybe because also twins, I would get a lot of like, a lot of unsolicited advice because it seemed like overwhelming when you're
the key is unsolicited.
when you're pushing two babies in the double stroller there. But a lot of people used to say to me, just wait, bigger kids, bigger problems. And I also always would be like what?
Yeah.
I can see.
But
that.
it's like
I can see that.
Not
though.
that I have a problem with my kids, but it is like a whole new.
Yeah, no.
Like if you think about like when you guys were like 17, or if you could like look, even I have to remember like when I was a teen. You look back and you think, okay, well, if my grandma had to like bail me out of XYZ, it's like now I'm doing that for not bail out, but like just be there for them in a different way.
I was bailed.
I'm like,
I've been bailed. Yeah.
so it is. So I kind of look back at that because when they were like 3, people would tell me that, and I'd be like, get out of here in the supermarket.
I don't know if it's
but
just
it's
different.
true. It's
different
actually
problem.
true.
It's just it's different
Yeah.
problem. It's different
Yeah.
problems.
But the
okay.
driving and
Yeah, but you want to focus on 3 years old. You don't want to worry about 16 years later.
Yeah.
You want to be in the now.
And that's you got to be present. Be present in the now. So okay, because I want to eventually. We're 45 minutes in.
Oh.
But I want to get into like the cigar aspect and stuff, but I still want to go back to. So you have this epiphany. When did you quit your job immediately, or did you like how long? Because you said the pandemic kind of helped you.
Well, this was just before the pandemic hit. Actually, I already had the epiphany. Was it before the pandemic hit? It was more. That was the epiphany.
Well, it
was
had to be
more 'cause
before
my
the pandemic because you were you
Yeah.
were at the office watching the school bus.
Yeah,
go,
because
right?
because
So that means
it was
it
more
was-
because I was a parent. I was a mom. I'm a mom. That was the epiphany. But then I had to. After work, I just kind of silently on my own just was like, F this, and I would just go from work straight to the driving school. I was lucky enough that the CDL driving school was right in the town. Or I'm like in Dutchess County, so it was the Dutchess County driving school.
I'm gonna give myself
And,
a little topper, you know what mean.
And yeah.
Don't mind me.
No, let's do it. Kings County. But so I got my CDL.
A little bit of a little burn.
Definitely.
It's good burn though. It's like Bengay. Good burn.
All right, I like it.
Do you need more?
Not yet.
Okay.
But the thing is, it was crazy because I had to like call in sick to do certain things. I had to go to DMV, take my written test. I had to take the road test in the bus, and my boss literally, like, right before I quit, actually not my boss, her boss, like the regional, like the big boss. I felt, to this day I still feel bad about it. So if you're watching, I'm sorry.
My bad.
I was so embarrassed, guys.
Did you tell
she was
them
like, no,
what you were going? What you
well,
were
no,
doing?
no, I was keeping it secret. I really was.
I wanted to know
because I really dropped the mic. I was like, I'm out of this.
So
and
did you give him 2 weeks?
Well, my boss she was like, in all the years I've worked, I've never called in sick. Like, I was kind of like,
congratulations, you're stupid.
Yeah, she was like poo-pooing me because I was literally like doing last minute, like, and I had to move my schedule around. Like, if I had to meet with a client, I kind of like last minute would call in sick, but I needed to take the test for the CDL, and she kind of schooled me. Cause like I'm not that person either. I don't like not show up for work, but I was like skipping out. And I was, they were waiting on me. People were waiting on me, and I was like, I got to do me. And
isn't that like crazy?
She kind of schooled me. She was like,
where they say, "Oh, I haven't taken a sick day in X amount of years," and I go, "Why not though?" Like, that's what.
Oh, I got railed.
What kind of like?
Why? Because you waited till the last minute.
Yeah, because no one knew what I was doing at work, and only my family, my house, and and then as soon as I passed the test and I had to go on interviews at the school district, so I had to bounce from my day job, right? And then as soon as they hired me, because I also had to get approved by the school board.
Yeah, it's probably a huge process.
Yeah, it was a long process. Like, they say you're hired, but then like you wait 2 weeks to 4 weeks for like the next school board meeting for you to like really get the contract. Because I'm a contracted employee actually, and I'm like in a union, and I get New York State pension now, which is really cool.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Yeah, it's actually school bus driver is the best kept part-time secret, I think, out there. If you because I actually do well. I actually do well.
Sounds like a pretty simple job. I mean, you pick the kids up, you drop them off, and then you hang out for 5 hours, and then you pick them up and drop them off again, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think my aunt
and
did
during
that
the
for a
day,
while.
You smoke cigars.
Well, yeah, I don't know if they know that, but
but as long as you're not.
Well, you punch out and you punch in.
Yeah, as long as you're not smoking in the bus, you're allowed to smoke.
Yeah.
You can't drink.
No.
But you can.
That's right. I can't.
But you can smoke because you know why? Because
that's
right. Smoke cigarettes.
That's by law.
They're allowed to smoke a cigarette. You're telling me I can't smoke a cigar?
Yeah.
You're allowed to smoke a cigar. Just don't do it. Same thing with police officers. I always ask I have a buddy that's a police officer, and he loves cigars.
In Nassau County?
Suffolk. No. Suffolk? Nassau? I think Suffolk, maybe. I think he's border Suffolk. I can't remember. He's on the island. He's Nassau and Suffolk, but might be on the border. Anyway, he smokes cigars big time. I always ask him. I said, "Hey, do you smoke in the car? Like if you're just chilling, like on the highway, you're parked for hours. Like
the patrol car, yeah."
And he goes, we're not really allowed to. He's like, some people that smoke cigarettes, they roll the windows down, they blow the cigarette out the window. He goes, but I will smoke like on the job, but not in the car.
Yeah.
He's like, if I'm on my lunch break or something, and I park the car and I go have a sandwich. I'll sit outside and I'll have a cigar. If on my lunch break, I'll go into Matador's. I'm allowed to have the smell on me. I just can't. It's not. It's really getting in the car.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming everyone shares.
So he's like, but he goes, yeah, absolutely. He goes, why can't I? He goes, I can't drink, obviously.
Yeah.
He goes, but I can have a stogie. So he's like, sometimes I have the little shorties. I keep a packet of shorties, and I'm like, well, I would. Why not?
Oh,
yeah, I'm on spring break right now, so I take this because it's a weekday, but I take the drinking very seriously with that because if God forbid I get hit by a car,
you have kids' lives in your hands.
Then they test me. You can't have a drink in certain hours from when you're behind them. I mean, I take that very seriously, yeah, because then you can lose your license.
Believe it or not, my mother got hit by a school bus.
Whoa, I've had a car hit my bus, but she got what was she in a car? Or she was
she was walking across the street and the bus driver wasn't fully paying attention.
Oh.
Is that what started the knee thing and the hip thing?
Oh my God,
Huh?
that's terrible.
Is that because you said your mom, right?
No, my mother-in-law.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, she's fine. She's perfectly
I'm
okay.
sure that driver got
but she
fired
had
instantly.
It was a lot of
because the safety we go through is intense. And it's
well, you have kids' lives.
It's
like being a pilot. It's like being a pilot.
Oh, it's
you're
no
responsible for multiple.
Yeah, because they say like once you become a school bus driver, because like you said with the kids, I got kindergartners on. They say like now, do you drive your car like a bus driver, or do you drive the bus like don't drive your bus like a car?
Yeah,
because that's a real thing.
It's a big difference.
You change your mindset. Now that I'm a driver, I changed my mindset.
How many
I'm not Mario Andretti
How many
anymore.
wide turns have you taken with your like regular car?
Yeah, me. Yeah, the L. They make the L. Yeah.
Because when you make a right-hand turn, you got to go all the way into the intersection and then turn it.
Yeah.
So your father-in-law, you said they're used to that.
He's
used to that. He's used
I've
to making.
Seen him. Yeah. I've seen him back like. Because he's, I mean, he's
he could drive that thing like a Fiat.
Dude, it's nuts. I've seen him. We have because both my brother-in-law is a truck driver too, and he's got. We went to Texas got an Airbnb. And we went for like the kind of like the baby announcement, but for Texas, right? And we had this house where you can they had a boat dock. So my brother-in-law was bringing his little pontoon boat, and he has this big dually pickup truck.
I love a pontoon
with his boat on the back, and it's like this huge trailer, right? And we had this driveway, and I'm like, I don't know if there's gonna be enough. Like, we're gonna have to move so we moved the cars over. I don't know if he's like, I'll get it in. No, he comes flying. He comes around into like this. He pulls up and goes back, and he's just like backs the trailer in, no problem.
I used to do the same thing,
and I'm like, damn.
We used to have a hot dog business. We had a trailer.
Oh my God, I love that.
And
I love that.
This was years ago.
Nathan's who? Oscar Mayer?
It was called Bad Dogs. We used Nathan's hot dogs. Though.
You drove the wiener truck?
Well, we had a pickup with the hitch.
Oh my God,
so,
I love it.
My dad always made me back it up, lock the hitch, pull it up, drive it away, and then I would learn how to.
Yeah, you gotta turn. You gotta turn like opposite of which.
It's gotta be opposite everything,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I was like 21, 22, and
then you know how to drive.
I know how to drive, and now. Every time I'm with people and I go in a parking lot, I back in the parking spot, and everyone's like always super. They're like, "Oh wow, I'm like
a badass."
You know what drives me nuts?
I gotta get an easy escape route. I gotta be able to pull right out.
You know what drives me nuts too is like when I'll pull into a spot or something, or I'll back in, and people are like, "Whew, you were close." I'm like, not even. I got it. They're like,
Listen,
"No, you were really." I'm like, I know my car.
I'm not good at many things. I'm good at driving and parking.
Parallel park. You ever do one little parallel? One swell swoop.
45-degree angle.
There is this
45-degree angle.
I used to work in this office, and it was in the Bronx, and the parking had a little parking lot, but it was like this wide, and everything was angled. So when you pulled in, it was already hard to pull it in. So what I would do is I would pull out in the main road, and I would back it in, and I'd start cutting it, and then sometimes I'd have to do like 20 up down move, up down, like for like 5 minutes. I would fucking squeeze my way in. But after I'm like, that was clean. I did that. Yeah. That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, that's serious. Serious. And when you drive in the city, then you can't. I mean,
well, like
you can't go wrong. You're an expert driver. If you could parallel park anywhere in the city, Bronx, anywhere.
That's a huge what's the word? Skill that can be utilized.
You want to go to a place that has some skill drive. Go to the Amalfi Coast in Italy.
There's the wine.
Holy shit. We were on this, but you want to, first off, you're on a cliff. You're on the side of a freaking cliff. And then the roads are like, and people are just, and you're almost to the point where you're driving, you're like, I'm going to get hit.
That butthole clinches a little bit.
Dude, and they're just like whipping it around, no problem. Like, holy, they're like flying through this thing.
That's serious.
And then in Lake Como, we're coming with this guy. So we got picked up at the airport. We're going to our hotel, and we're come to like the end of like the main road. I guess it's like where it's a normal size road, and then all of a sudden he turns down this like alleyway, and I'm talking an alley. Like the car, I'm telling you, if I opened the window, okay, if I just opened the window and stuck my hand, I would hit the building. I would like smack a person in the face. Like people, are, and we're going
a little scary.
And we're going down this road. And my wife and I we go to the guy. I said, "Hey, are we allowed to do this?" He goes, "Allowed? Yeah." He goes,
"Should we?"
Is it kind of frowned? He goes, "It's kind of frowned." He goes, "But we're allowed." He goes, But listen, I said I would take you to the front door of your hotel, so I'm going to take you. He goes, God damn, I'm going to take you to the front door. And there's people, like, sitting, having a glass of wine. I'm telling you, if I rolled down the window, I'd be sitting at their table with
That's
them.
like I don't know if it's in India or another country, but I've seen
Wild.
videos of, like, restaurants, and they have, like, little cafes, and the train is right outside.
Right there.
And they will be eating right here, and the train is right where the cameras
Your
are.
hair's like,
Yeah, and I'm like,
your
why-
eyelashes are like.
Why would you want to be in that situation?
And the people are unfazed. They're
Yeah.
just like sitting there, like, and the train's like, boom, and they're like,
Yeah.
whatever, no
No
problem.
big deal. It's okay, no big
Yep,
deal.
yep.
Okay, so, all right, so you have this epiphany, right? And you had said that, you quit your job, now you become a bus driver. Okay, and now,
And then the pandemic hit.
and then the pandemic hit.
Damn. So then what happened after that?
I already I had tried cigars before the pandemic
I was going
and
to ask you.
failed.
So, well, hold on. Okay, so before you
I had a
before,
personal fail.
before you started the cigar, were you a cigar smoker? When did you start smoking cigars?
I tried it before. I grew up around cigars. I think my people that might know me. I don't want to repeat myself, but I say it probably a lot on my podcast. I've been around cigars, smoke basically my whole life.
Who smoked cigars? in
My
your family?
uncles, in Brooklyn and Long Island, all my Sicilian uncles. Not my parents, not my father.
All your uncles.
my
All our
uncle-
fellow
And,
Ginzalines.
and my
Ginzy,
cousins after like a
The paisans.
yeah, like a
Hey,
family
fucker.
reunion. You know,
How you
after
doing?
they would light up and play casino and cards and but I always loved
My
the
kind of
smell.
people.
Yeah, I always loved the smell.
Does the cigar smell
Ever since my
remind
whole
you
life.
of a casino? Because it does to me.
No.
Every time I walk into a casino, and
It
I
reminds
see,
me of my Uncle Philly. And if I
Uncle
win the
Philly.
lottery, I'm opening a cigar lounge called Uncle Philly's.
That's
So,
awesome. That's a great
that's
a great
my-
name.
why do you
now
need to
to
win the
God's
Why do you need to win the lottery?
Well, because you need capital to.
It's New York. You need a lot of
you
capital
need a
for
lot of
cigar
capital.
lounge.
Go get
But
a loan.
maybe I will.
Gary-
after I'm
Gary
done
V
paying for
would
my
advise
kids' college,
not to.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, that
Okay.
I would call it Uncle Philly's.
Write a business plan. Go to your bank. Say, this is my
Look at
plan.
this guy. He's gonna manifest this for me. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I always love the smell. So my friends who enjoy cigars, we were hanging, one day at a
Got an
fire
idea.
pit.
You know what you should do?
I love it.
You know what
Tell
you
me,
should do?
what should I
There
do?
we go.
You should buy an old school bus and turn it into Uncle Philly's.
There we go.
And just pop a school bus up.
Done.
And it's a small
Yeah.
little lounge.
Done. Because actually, those are reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
And you
reasonably
don't-
priced. You can
yeah.
get your hands on
You
that.
can gut it
Actually,
out pretty
mo-
good.
A mobile.
Justin just
Little-
helped me
Yeah.
speed
And you
up
can
my.
make it mobile. We have a guy, if you're interested about doing mobile cigar, we had a guy on here.
I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Come
School
on.
bus
They
mobile
call him the
cigar.
They call him the Panda. We had him on.
Yeah, he's
Mobile
cool.
Cigar Lounge.
He's from Jersey.
Joey the Panda. Yeah.
Joey the Panda.
Yeah, he's cool.
Mobile cigar
Mobile
lounge.
Cigar Lounge. You get you cross two paths, two passions, your cigars and your school bus driving.
Panda,
Buy-
hit me up and tell me
Yeah.
the
Ins and outs. That's a good
The ins
idea.
and
I,
outs.
Josh.
I only want 25% for the. I'm just kidding.
Finder's fee. You heard it here first.
Hey, I'm telling you, that's a great idea.
Why
I never
not?
thought of it.
Oh, get a school. You can get those for cheap.
Yeah, you can. You
You
can.
ever see
can
those?
get
You
'em.
gut the school and you put a
Yep.
couple couches in.
My
there,
neighbor did that at one point.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he totally did. He was a handyman by trade.
Put a
like
couple
he
TVs in it. Put a little bar in it. Oh,
he
I
put
like
his own. He put his bathroom in it all on his own.
blackout. You black out like the windows so nobody can see inside of it. Kind of like a party bus.
Dude.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
Uncle Philly's I thought I was gonna have a brick and mortar, but I might do this.
Uncle Philly's bus. There you go, man.
I love it. I
Uncle
love
Philly's cigar bus right here.
The School of Uncle Philly.
Yeah, right? That's it. There you go.
I like it.
Done.
That was a good idea.
Anyway, so
Uncle Philly. Shout out.
So you got into cigars. You're always around cigars. When did you try your first cigar?
it. Later in life.
Was
Because
it
I think because I was a mom, I had that thing in my
Yeah.
head, don't smoke around your kid. So it was a while.
was
was
it
an older-
was it pre the Epiphany or post Epiphany?
Of the bus?
Yeah.
Pre, I guess. Pre?
Yeah. How was your first experience? Do you remember your first cigar?
Well, that's the thing. I kind of was like, I puffed it so fast, I kind of burned the back of my throat.
oh, you had one
And
of
I
those.
was like, maybe I'll just enjoy the smell. I kind of, and I was trying to be like a lady. Not that I'm really a lady. I'm like more like
You're a lady.
I'm a
Ladies-
tomboy even at my age.
Ladies smoke cigars.
No,
though.
but I mean, like I was trying to be dainty. I was with a lot of guys,
yeah,
and
you're trying to be Daisy, Daisy, dainty Daisy.
I don't know what I was trying to be, but I
You're figuring it out.
yeah, and I kind of burned the back of my throat, and I was like, I was like, what?
I'm burning the back of my throat now with this whiskey.
So so a few years went by, and I just was kind of hanging with people with cigars and just kind of enjoying it, and not, I don't know, judgment. But then the pandemic hit, and I kind of was like just full in, like bought cigars and
need something to do.
Did the podcast like
I'm sitting at home the whole time. I need something to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like exponentially burst into like.
So what was the first?
Not have a cigar.
So so tell me about. You said the pandemic had hit, right? You have all this time. You're buying. Do you remember what you bought? Like, what was your first thing of cigars? Because I imagine you went from. You had this experience of you smoked cigars, you burn the back of your throat, and you're like, I kind of like the smell of it, but I don't really want to smoke it. Now the pandemic hit, and you're like, you're still probably thinking about, I'm going to burn my throat again, but you still wanted to go into cigars. So do you remember what you bought? What did you?
Yeah, my friend gave me, he was in my backyard because, it's outside, all that distance stuff that we did. Can you imagine? Can you believe we even did that?
No,
I can't even.
I can't. It's
I can't.
So
we
stupid.
can't.
I have a picture of my 30th birthday where my family came over and we're like, I'm like, we are so stupid.
I can't believe. I have a picture of waiting outside of Trader Joe's and the liners are around the corner and we're all 6 feet apart. And we were wearing bandanas around the time because we didn't have masks.
Yeah.
How stupid that was. Fucking stupid.
So what cigars?
So we were outside and he gave me a Casa de Garcia, Connecticut's. And Rocky Patel, and a Perdomo. I had the champagne.
The champagne's a good stick.
Yeah,
it's a good stick.
So those are my first cigars, Connecticut's. Oh, and I had the Monte Cristo White.
Yep,
sure, White Series.
And I just fell in love with. In the beginning, I fell in love with Perdomo big time. I was smoking the Lot 23.
Lot 23 champagne. Then you have the 20th anniversary. Yeah,
I was
good
so
sticks.
Hooked, and then I kind of branched out and learned about other brands.
So did you start
and met other cigar people that introduced me to other,
you
and then actually when you guys dropped this, because I was already a fan of this show, I got this immediately. I think Flying Cigars. I got it immediately.
You were one of the first ones.
Yeah, I was like, because I like to also support. So I'm that person. Like I like to try to buy. I like to support. Like I have friends that like wrote books, and I'm like, or they'll say to me like, "I'll give it to you," and I'm like, "No, I'm gonna buy it."
Yeah, you have
to. That's some,
I will say I very that is I appreciate that you do that, because for all those people that are listening and watching, if your friend or family has a business, don't ask for a discount. Buy it. Pay the full. Support them in their business. I can't tell you how many people that come up that they instantly like, oh, you're going to give me the hookup? You're going to get... Now, listen, if I will offer it and say, hey, listen, you're a family and friend. We're going to give you a family and friend discount. But when you ask, like, don't ask for the discount. Just support. Like, be willing. Like, I want to support your dream. I don't care what the price is. I'm going to support your business.
Yeah.
I think it's important that you're saying that, because as a DJ, I've had certain people kind of do that with me, and I was like,
I don't want to work for free.
The date is booked.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Yeah.
I had to, but there are certain people close to me, not just my family, but like my closest friends or their family of my close friends. I would, like you said, I would say, okay, well, this is the price I'm going to give you. I'm not going to, but I still, because I have to pay for insurance. I had to pay $1 million. Believe it or not,
of insurance,
of overhead insurance, $1 million minimum.
Yeah,
because if I go into like the Grandview or
you have to, you have to get
you can't. They won't let you work.
You got to get event insurance.
So there were certain people that were like, "Can you do it for this price?" And I'm like,
and see,
no.
that's you need to support now,
because that's an insult.
Because at the end of the day, you're running a business.
Mm-hmm.
You're not running a charity case.
No.
You're running a business, and you're trying to build the business. So support small businesses, and it's your family and friends. You should want to support them. You should want, if anything, be like, hey, listen, you know what? I'm gonna buy 4. I only need one of them, but I'm gonna buy 4 of them because I want to support your business.
100%.
It's more of like I want to give you a donation, and then I'm trying to support you, because if I open a business, you support me, and we support each other. Now, granted, like you had said, I'm going to give you the family. I'm going to give you the price, but don't ask for it.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course, yeah.
So you're in a pandemic, right? And you're starting to smoke all these cigars. What gave you the idea to start your show?
Well, being that, I mentioned the DJ thing. I'm kind of moving away from that a little bit, but I sprinkle with it now. But I don't really do weddings anymore. I just kind of stopped just now. But because I have the equipment, I had the mics, I had the stands, I had this and that, the mixer, I kind of was in my garage and I was doing cigar reviews. Or I was doing my own, just me and in my garage.
You did one of ours. I think.
Yeah, probably I did.
Yeah.
And a lot of my early stuff was like raw, and it was just like me and the camera and me and my, I was like, I have the equipment. Let me just turn the camera on me. And then it kind of morphed into it fell in on its own to be the podcast. That's why YouTube, I'm authentically Angela, because at first I thought, I'm going to do like woodworking in my garage and have a cigar in my mouth and kind of like make ashtrays out of wood and kind of talk about life with the cigar in my mouth. But then it kind of morphed into just Puros and music, like focus more on the podcast, interviewing like blenders and like
So
I don't know if you've seen some of my like I was blessed to kind of meet a lot of like the heavy hitters in the industry, which was really nice, and it just snowballed. Really,
where does the music portion come in?
Just my love of music from my whole life.
How does that? How do you incorporate that into the show, though?
Usually the end portion of every episode, we'll just kind of talk about music, and I on Spotify I have a public playlist named after the podcast Puros and music for the people, and we just like if we talk about like Teddy Swims, we'll throw it up. If we talk about like
Teddy Swims.
If I like to kind of like just kind of banter about like what's hot and what break down the song too, because it speaks to your soul like a cigar.
What do you think? What does your sons think of you smoking cigars?
Well,
do they smoke?
Yeah, can they? Will they?
Do they?
No, but they.
You said they're 19.
Yeah, but they will. I don't think yet. I mean, you have to be 21, but no, not yet.
No, you
actually,
You gotta be 18.
No, you don't.
To smoke a cigar.
I think it's 18.
Be fucking 10 years old for all I care.
No, you gotta be 20. You gotta be 21. But
no, you have. I think you have to be 21.
I know.
I thought it was.
I'm like old enough to know. I remember even when drinking was 18.
Yeah,
I thought it was 19.
No, I thought it was.
But
18,
I'm saying,
they changed it to 21.
but like
right.
I smoked my first cigar when I was 16.
Yeah, no,
with my stepdad in the backyard. He was smoking cigars. I'm like, hey, I want to have a cigar.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm not against them doing it. It's just that I know actually a couple of their buddies when they graduated high school, believe it or not, they got cigars.
Yeah, have a cigar when you graduate.
But I don't want to I think it's a little bit, this is a fine line. I don't want to push it because I don't want them to I started kind of later in life.
Yeah,
and I feel like once you start, you're not really going to
find out on their own.
stop. You're not going to stop.
I guess what you're saying. You let them come to you and say, hey, Mom, can I try a cigar?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I thought you'd never ask.
Exactly.
But you don't be like, hey, smoke that shit.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird.
So what do they think of you smoking cigars?
Now, I did keep it from them at first, but then once actually the podcast kind of opened up.
Yeah, you're famous now. You can't keep it.
I could, I'm not going to lie. I don't lie. But you kind of, you withhold information.
No doubt.
But no, even now, because one of my sons, he wants to be an officer. He wants to be a detective. So I'm like, you're gonna be in a world where they all enjoy
cigar dinners every weekend.
Yeah, so he's like, Mom, I'm gonna have a cigar with you. I'm like, yeah. Let's do it.
So they're okay with it. Sounds like they like it. They think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be a time when fast forward maybe a decade from now.
Because usually your mom doesn't smoke cigars. Usually it's your dad that smokes cigars. So that's why I was asking. It's a cool dynamic.
Well, I mean, I can see it like a decade.
I'm like the dad.
You play both roles.
Well, I have a wife.
You have a wife. Okay.
So, and she doesn't like it.
Okay.
She's like when you guys
That's
post
tough.
the stuff about all the memes and the jokes about hide the price of the box of cigars for my wife.
Yeah.
That I relate to because she's always like, oh, you with the cigars.
So she doesn't smoke.
No.
But does she mind that you smoke?
No, at this point, no. But at first, yes. I think that's why I kind of hesitated a little bit because I was ready to grab a cigar early on. But
let me ask you this: at this point now, how long you guys been together?
Oh, forever.
Forever.
We've been married 26 years.
So does she kind of like?
Oh, we're a full-fledged family.
Does she kind of like find it a little bit sexy now? Like she sees you in the backyard with a bourbon and a cigar. She's like, ooh.
Yeah. She's like, yeah.
Yeah. See that first. So now you're like, you take a puff. Like, remember at first you didn't like it.
Hey, you hear that?
How about now?
You like that shit?
How about now?
Yeah, so me and my sons, we're going to be like, don't let, she's mommy and I'm mama.
Okay.
And they're like, we're going to be like, don't look.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, so you guys have kids. You had twins. Does she have any kids too?
Well, we were married first. We've been together forever. And she gave birth to our twins. But I'm like on their birth certificate. I'm like we
so
were
she
already
gave birth
married
to the
with a house. Yeah, she got pregnant from
in vitro or
no natural, but like the doctor did the part that
Gotcha.
the man does.
Yeah.
Sorry, she's gonna kill me.
No, we can edit. We can edit. We can edit it if you like.
But that's
No,
that's what
she's
you
not-
do.
No, we can edit it.
No,
if you like.
but honestly, it was the doctor, the gynecologist did what the man would do.
Yeah.
So it's because it wasn't,
That's cool.
For lack of a better term, the turkey baster.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
I was gonna say.
Now-
I was gonna say. No.
I'm open, but like I
So
don't want to
so
embarrass
so
her.
So
No, it's okay.
is it? I don't know if this is too much to
No, ask me,
if it's
please.
too personal.
I'm an open book.
Okay. How did you guys decide who was going to carry?
Great question. Well, this might sound crazy, but she's 5'8". I'm 5'2". The birth and hips.
I was gonna say she got the birthing hips.
But I'm a tomboy from my birth. So I never really pictured myself pregnant. I just always knew I wanted to be a parent, a mother. So when we first got together, it wasn't really a thing yet because we were married for quite some time before we had our children. And actually, it was my doctor that said, we can do this. Because I didn't know
How it works.
Yeah, it was like an anonymous donor from a sperm bank.
Did you go through the book? Okay,
Yeah.
6'5".
Yeah.
Blonde, blue eyes, 6'5", doctor. Like, I want that one.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the top cryobanks in the U.S. There's two. There was one in Fairfax, Virginia, one in California at the time. Because my kids are 19, so this was 20 plus years ago. Because it took a while to kind of set it all up, and you pick it.
It's like a book.
You do because even for like straight people who can't get pregnant,
No, it's the same thing.
they
same process.
want to match like their husband has blue eyes, brown hair.
I have
You
a
wanna
family
match.
member that did that.
Yeah,
They
you want to
got
match.
Yeah.
100%.
So that's what
got
we
married very later in life and wanted to have a kid, and they
Yeah.
had to go. I think it was through in vitro, but they had to do
Yeah.
that whole.
That's
process.
the technical term for it, but they go in.
Well, there's in vitro or IUI, but
Say like one of them
because
is
certain
one of them.
people
I think,
can't if the woman can't get pregnant, it's IVF. But if she can, then you just got to
Yeah.
put the sperm.
It's one of them is
In the spot.
One of them is they take the fertilized egg and they plant it inside the uterus,
Right,
and then
which
hopefully
we
it
didn't
sticks and then it grows. But if she has eggs, then they just plant the sperm inside. Hopefully that the sperm will
And the fastest man
swim up,
wins.
and the fastest one wins.
Yeah, that's why a lot of lesbians have boys. Do you know that?
No.
Because when the sperm, and I saw them under the microscope, actually, the nurse was like, "You want to see that?" They had to test the vitality of
yeah,
the
whatever.
because it comes out in like an R2D2 tank of like it comes out of like the
a
the
cryo tube.
Yeah.
It's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
so when they open up the tank, it's all like the dry ice, and then they test the sperm under the
Make sure
microscope
they're
to see
swimming.
this. Yeah, and then yep.
So you literally saw your kids like.
Well, not them, because yeah, they were like, oh, they're vibrant. But a lot of lesbians, they do have boys because strong swimmers make boys.
Yeah. Is that what they say?
That's actually a scientific. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
So not strong swimmers are resulted from girls.
Well,
No, I think-
whichever
no,
one reached fast to
Yeah,
the.
I think. Well, it's also. It also has to do
I
with
think the man makes the sex of the baby.
They
the
do.
man does because
They
the
do.
man has both chromosomes, X and Y. The woman only has XX, so the
Yeah.
woman doesn't have the male chromosome. So, when the sperm goes in, he's got the sperm, and there's either an X or a Y, whichever one gets there, right? But I think the male sperm cells swim faster than the female ones. However, the female has to let it in. So like if here's the egg, the sperm will swim up and hit the egg, and the egg will.
That's true.
The egg is selective on who it lets in.
So you're still strong.
So
Thanks, Angela. Thanks so much.
So your male swimmers could have
Oh,
got
I'm gonna go cry my wife now.
your male swimmers could have gotten there, and the egg was just like, nah, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't like that one. Nah,
You
I
know
don't
what I've
like
also
that one.
seen?
And then the
That's-
female one got there, was like, that's the one I like, and they let him in. And once they let it in, it blocks off and nothing else can get in.
It's wild.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah,
I've seen a video where
so wild.
They showed the egg and the sperm coming together, and they say that once the sperm gets into the egg, a burst of light is produced.
Light is life,
and they show the actual egg like bursting into like a light. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy.
Well, I don't know if you're religious at all, but when Jesus said, "I am the truth, I am the way, I am the light." I am the light. That's why they say
that's pretty wild.
Light is life, and it's but
crazy.
No, I am very spiritual, but no, actually, she did feel a lightning. It was like lightning. It was crazy.
Wow.
Well, I think because the twins, she felt like a lightning strike. It was the craziest thing.
Wow.
It's wild.
And we say that's my baby A. Shout out to baby A because he's still wild today. We're like, that must have been the lightning strike. Baby
so
A is
funny.
the first twin, and baby B is the second.
Wow.
But that's
They're
wild.
going to be so embarrassed.
That's wild.
That's okay.
So I want to talk about. So now you've got the podcast. You said the podcast just kind of bloomed. So now talk about Hudson Valley Herf. When did that come? Did that come before or after the podcast?
That was all at the same moment because being in the DJ world, it kind of helped me branch into all this because I do events. I've always done events. I've done bridal shows. So kind of like I'm used to that world. And so there was a lounge by me I used to set up, invite friends and family, and I'd do the whole thing like 2-stick minimum, come to the lounge. We'd play like cigar bingo. I did the whole thing. And I'd play music, this and that. But then that lounge by me closed.
Just gonna
so at that same moment, that's when I met Jesse, which you know him. And he's
Jesse
helped
Ortiz.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting involved with the Saratoga thing because I like to be in the trenches of events. But now I want to leave the wedding side behind, and now I want to do like cigar because I've actually DJ'd for San Giuseppe one time.
Love
And
those
you
guys.
Joe Bonanno.
You DJ'd at Pulpatina.
Yeah,
Love those. Yeah, shout out to both of those guys, San Giuseppe's and Pulpatina.
Yeah.
One time
Joe Bonanno and
Mike Abruzzi.
Mike
Abruzzi.
Mike Abruzzi is from Pulpatina, but Joe Bonanno, we had Big Joe Gambino, and we had
his partner.
What the heck was his
Name's
name?
not coming to me. Apologize.
I apologize. I'm gonna find his name.
It's over a year.
Because
I will say this, Angelo. First lesbian on the podcast,
Oh my
though.
God.
What up, though? That's sick.
Wait.
I didn't expect any of that.
What do we got to do? What do we got to do?
What are we gonna do? Oh, Oh yeah, baby. Woo! That was sick.
I'm marketing that. I'm going to put that on shirts and hats.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's sick. So congrats to that. That's pretty sweet.
I find out that amazing how because I always ask because I've seen I've heard of couples lesbian couples where they say okay there was a lesbian couple from I don't know her wife but I know of her. She was from she went to the same high school that I went to, and my wife and I when we went upstate to Lake Placid, we love Lake Placid. I ran into her and I was like, oh hey, what's going on? I think her name was Emily. I ran into her and she's like, hey, what's going on? She was a grade ahead of me, but she knew my stepsisters, and I was like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing up here? She's like, oh, I moved to Saranac Lake with my wife, and we have 4 kids. And I was talking to her about, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I said, so how did you guys decide? She's like, I took the first one, she took the second one, I took the third one, she took the fourth one. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
You got the banger. You got the 2 for 1.
But you got the 2 for 1, and
That's right. So I didn't have
about-
to I was going to get pregnant second. That was like the plan. And then I didn't have to. And I kind of was
So
okay.
you guys
I was
decided
okay
with
that.
2. You were like, we're
we were like,
okay, so you
2 for the price
You
of
got the
one.
BOGO.
Do you joke with her a lot? Like, hey, I got the BOGO on that one.
I was like,
I lucked out on that one.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But that's pretty cool. Like they alternate, or in some cases, some of them were like, well, my wife couldn't, so I picked it up.
Yeah,
'cause,
100%.
whatever the reason was. But I find that cool because it's like we go back and forth. Like, I get one, you get one. I get one.
It's a team effort.
I put a quarter in, I get a car. Put a quarter in, I get a car.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna find that guy's name because I can't. I feel
Is it
bad.
Jason?
I feel bad not.
Is it Jason? I think it might be Jason.
Can I send you a picture you put up because I would love to share
Yeah.
a family shot because I'm very proud and I do keep it close to I play my cards close to my heart.
Well, thanks for sharing it on the burn down.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So we'll definitely send us a picture, and we can include it for sure. Family pic, family photo, family portrait.
Yeah, sure.
Does it hang over the fireplace?
Hanging in the Louvre.
In the big old house, and then nice.
All right, so
family.
we have.
I believe it's Jason.
Let's see here, Jason Messina.
Fucking spot on, baby.
Fucking nailed it, bro.
Fucking.
So shout out to Joe Bonanno, Jason Messina from San Giuseppe Cigars.
Oh yeah, his main guy.
Along
Yeah,
with
his partner.
Big Joe Gambino. We had the three of those on. We had Big Joe twice, 3 times because we missed her.
Oh, there's
And then
so
shout out
beautiful.
to Mike
Yeah.
at Pulpatina, both of them.
yeah,
Yeah, the Big Joe's a big teddy bear.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
Which Big Joe? They're both big.
Big
Yeah.
Joe Gambino.
Big
Yeah.
Joe Gambino.
Yeah.
Because Big Joe Bonanno, he's a big dude too.
Oh, he's a big dude. He's a massive dude. He's the one guy you don't want to rub the wrong
yeah,
way.
we were talking about working out and
Yeah.
lifting weights and stuff, and that was good.
No, we don't want to mess with him. He's the type of guy you want on your side.
Oh
He's
yeah.
a great guy.
100%.
I grew up with a kid in high school who was like a Joe Bonanno, and I was always glad he was on my side. I never wanted to be on the opposite side because if you're on the opposite side, there was a lot of blood. We didn't, and no one wanted that.
See,
So let me ask you this.
You only need a couple. You only need like 2 or 3. Like, what's that guy's name? The freaking comedian. He goes, I don't need a whole bunch of friends. I just need like 2 or 3 bad motherfuckers. I'll take your whole family down.
Joe
Diaz,
Diaz.
I'll take your whole family down.
I
Joe
love that
Diaz.
guy.
He's the best.
Yeah, I love that guy.
But what is it that you would love about cigars? Why do you enjoy cigars?
It's
That's a good
so
question.
when they say it's relaxing, it's not a lie. And when they say it's therapy, I believe it. When you take also, you know about like how Mark Twain, he basically smoked like 10 cigars a day.
Yeah,
And
a
he
lot
quit,
of famous
like-
people. Winston Churchill,
Yeah.
Mark Twain.
And yeah.
There's a
And
lot
I
of
think
people like
also growing up with those stories and like Huck Finn, I'm of that era of
Huckleberry Finn?
Huckleberry
yeah.
Finn.
Yeah. And Tom Sawyer. So kind of once I
That's
learned,
a great song, by the way, too.
I saw them live
So did I.
at Jones Beach
When?
with back in the 90s.
Yeah, when did you see them? Because I saw them when they
Who's
were.
that? Why can't Rush?
Yeah,
Yep, sure.
As a drummer, I bet you love Neil Peart.
of course. He's one of the best drummers to ever live. Wait, when did you see them, though?
Oh, maybe 93, 92.
Oh, no, I didn't see them. I saw them.
I'm older than you.
No, but I saw them in Jones
94?
Beach when they released Snakes and Arrows. There and I saw my dad took me there. I was young, and maybe it was early 2000s. And they played some of their tracks, some of the newer tracks, right? And then they finished, and the stage goes dark, and everybody's like screaming encore, 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 and then all of a sudden, like dry ice comes out, like the fog comes out, and all you hear is ting to ting 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 to ting, and they started playing their famous YYZ and everybody lost their minds.
Oh,
I was
I
like,
love Rush.
holy! And that's a song where there's no singing; it's all music, but it's like an 8-minute just jam session, and
Yeah.
people lost their
Yeah, I'm
mind.
sure they did.
It was great. It was great. Great band, and you know that band is only 3 people.
yeah.
3 people. Anyway,
So cigars.
so cigars.
Where I got sidetracked. What was I
We
saying?
get sidetracked a lot here.
It's okay.
So
my fault.
why do you? Yeah, it's 100% his
Listen,
fault.
see this right here?
I'm the listener. He's the talker.
See this right
Listen,
here?
That's why you
This
locked
is,
in.
This is hand up accountability.
Sometimes,
My fault.
Angela, I have to give. Sometimes I have to look at Justin and be like,
It's okay.
"Come on, let's
So
get back
you-
on track here."
So what was I saying?
So why you love?
Why you love cigars?
Enjoy
you were
cigars
talking
so
about
much.
yeah, you were talking
You
about
said how it's actually very
Mark
therapeutic.
Twain and Huckleberry Finn.
Well,
and
also, and my uncle.
yeah.
I think at the very core of it, being at Eisenhower Park at a family reunion, I just have the strongest memory of like being a little girl. You know, he's got the cigar in his mouth, unbanded, chewing on it, just shucking clams.
So Long Island.
Have you
yeah,
been
and
back to
I just-
Eisenhower lately or no?
Not lately, no.
Oh, we got to take her. They
know.
redid the whole thing.
Oh, I bet it's awesome. We used to play softball. The
They
whole
got
family.
the general. They have the
Yeah.
General Club there, which is a private cigar lounge.
That's cool.
That's where I had my baby shower. We got to take you back.
nice.
Oh, bring back so many memories.
Oh
for you.
yeah. Grew up. I'm talking a long time ago, but
So if you could describe cigars in 3 adjectives, what would you say?
Wow, what a question!
You like that shit?
What a
I'm gonna say this part of yeah.
what a question!
But taste and smell, I don't know. Maybe that's like one. That's just like the taste and the taste of it, right? The whole
Okay.
The aroma.
Yeah, the
taste
whole.
and the smell. Okay, I will put that in a 1.
Yeah.
Put that in a 1.
The camaraderie, and the people I meet, and just it's just I don't know. It's just it
Relaxing.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's like the second I light it and I smell the aroma, I just relax.
So we got.
And then when I puff it, it's like
You got aroma. You got camaraderie.
Let's put it senses. The senses.
The senses. It gets the senses going. It gets the senses going.
Gets the senses going.
It's the camaraderie. It's all the people that you meet, the people that you smoke cigars with, and it's the way it makes you feel.
And the relaxation. Senses, camaraderie, relaxation.
It brings you to that zen.
Oh.
Woosa. We got
cheapest form of therapy, man.
You can, it's a little more expensive now, but I usually say you can spend $100 on a therapy session, or you can spend $20 on a cigar. Get the same affect. Some people will understand it. Some people won't. If you know, you know. That's it, Angela.
So we are an hour and 27 minutes in.
Damn.
Yeah. We still got a half an hour to go.
It smells so good in here. There was like smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
The cigar.
The scratch and sniff.
Well, hopefully, the people that are watching and listening, hopefully you're enjoying a good cigar while you're doing this, so you can get the feeling that we're feeling. You know what I'm saying?
What's your favorite pairing with a cigar?
Oh.
If you had to push me against the wall, I think I would say coffee.
Yeah.
Nice. As much as I love the bourbon,
Coffee's the best.
I would have to put coffee. And I'm going to say food, too.
What kind of food?
Well, a lot of people
let's say
steak,
but
but
with the blueprint. Food with the blueprint. Because it depends.
Medium full or light cigar, yeah.
Yeah, if you're smoking the blueprint, what would you pair? What food you drink? What would you pair?
Nice crispy skin roast chicken, a beautiful seared lamb lollipop.
Nice.
Lamb.
I love lamb lollipops.
Or ribs. Yeah.
All right,
nice.
so let me paint you this scenario. Here you go. Ready? You're in your backyard, 75 degrees, blue skies, no wind, no humidity. What cigar are you smoking, and what are you eating, and what are you drinking? You don't have to say the blueprint just because we're here, but...
Well, I already, listen, I wouldn't...
It's top 25.
I mean, I'm telling you, as soon as it came out, like I said, I got it to support me as a fan of the podcast, and I smoked it, and I just was like...
Let me ask you on a...
if I didn't like it, I would have just been... I probably would have just moved on.
Sure.
And it wouldn't be top 25.
Can I ask you... What do you like about the blueprint? It's
very creamy. It's very smooth. The open draw. It's the balance of like the pepper with I don't want to it's got that hint of chocolate. It's
that's
nice.
And
it goes well with a barbecue. Like be it a hamburger or like even like elevated
something
meats
charcoal.
or even a hamburger even.
Something that's got a nice like charcoal on it, like something over an open flame.
So let's imagine this scenario, right? We're in your backyard, 75 degrees.
Should we close our eyes for this?
Yeah, we got a blueprint. All right, well-spoken blueprints, right? Yeah. What are we drinking? What are you cooking? Are you cooking in the kitchen? Are you cooking in the barbecue? What do you got?
We're cooking outside.
All right, here we go.
We get. I like to do chicken with the skin. I like to do lamb chops. Because Italian, I grew up with like it's Easter time.
Oh, yeah, we gotta have lamb.
I love
gotta have lamb.
Yeah, and I love to do pork ribs, and I marinate them like Bobby Flay. I put them with the lime juice, salt, pepper, olive oil, and I marinate them, and I let them break down for at least I do it the night before, and then what I do is Bobby Flay does the pork rib on the bone. First you sear it on the barbecue, and then after you sear it and you cook it for a minute, then you put the barbecue sauce.
Damn.
You don't. Some people they put the barbecue sauce in like the marinating stage.
No.
I don't know if you do that, but I don't do that. I do it after.
We do a dry rub and cook it, and then the last like hour you baste it and cook it again.
Yeah, that's what I do, and that's.
So we got the meat, we got the cigars, we got the meats.
What's the drink?
No. What's the sides? What kind of sides do we got now?
Sides? Potato salad, homemade.
Nice.
My wife actually makes.
Wait, cold or hot?
Coleslaw. My wife
potato
is
salad.
Irish, so she
potato
makes
salad. Warm or cold potato salad?
cold.
Okay. See, I'm German. We do a little warm potato salad.
I didn't know you do warm potato salad.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
All right, potato salad. You got anything else?
Homemade coleslaw.
Nice.
Irish tradition. My wife takes the cabbage and grates it. So actually, she makes it really good.
Does she make a good corned beef then?
No.
Like, do you guys do a corned beef?
That's
and cabbage
actually not from Ireland.
I don't know. That's a
Believe
big
it or
St.
not.
Patty's Day thing, right?
It is.
It is.
How is that then?
I
How
actually
is
hate
corned beef and cabbage, if it's not from Ireland, how did it become a St.
It's
Patty's
probably an
Day
American
tradition?
thing. It's probably Americanized.
So what do they do in Ireland?
They just celebrate every day being Irish.
Well, it's St. Patty's Day, right?
Yeah, but every day is St. Patty's Day in Ireland, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm
not Irish.
I actually got the opportunity to live there for 5 weeks.
Did you?
On a farm, yeah.
Really?
I'm going to hopefully have him on the pod
Nice.
coming up.
That's cool.
This guy, Sean Hartopoulos. Check him out on Spotify. He's a musician and he's an Irishman.
What does he play?
Guitar and he sings.
And
piano.
Do you still play piano?
Yeah.
We got a guitar.
Just for myself. Like
So
I have songs I recorded, but just for myself.
We got to hook him up, you up, and Michael Herklotz. Had the three of you guys do a jam session.
Listen, Sean,
because Michael Herklotz is a drummer.
I met
Good
him
jazz drummer.
recently.
Great guy.
He's a beautiful man.
He's great. You want to talk about knowledge in cigars? Want to talk about articulate and what he says? He's a great guy. We actually did the first ever. I can comfortably say it's the first ever live cigar interview with Michael Herklotz in front of a live audience. Like you
we did like a live viewing,
like you know how
/ cigar event.
So for people that, if you're new to the show and you haven't seen that one, if you're familiar with like any talk show where they do interviews in front of a live audience, where it says like previously recorded in front of a live audience, we did the first ever one for cigars where we interviewed Michael Herklotz in front of about 30 people that had to purchase tickets to get to the show.
Yeah, it was a Ferry Otego cigar event at Leaf Lounge in
cool.
New Milford, New Jersey.
Beautiful.
And then along with the ticket of buying the Ferry Otego, then you were able to sit down in the separate section of the lounge where we interviewed him, and it was exactly what Justin said. It was like a live viewing, and we had like a little live Q&A. It was kind of cool.
Very cool.
All
if
right,
we would do that again,
That's cool.
If we would do that again, we'd add a microphone to pass around the audience because we didn't have that. But check that out. That's on the.
Living
That's
Life.
on. Yeah. That's
All
on.
right, so we're in your backyard. We got blueprints. We got all the meats. We got potato salad.
We got the meats.
We got the meats. We got coleslaw.
You guys stop talking about it. I'm gonna get the meat sweats soon. Okay, guys. Yeah.
Now are we? What are we drinking? Are we drinking tequila? Are we drinking bourbon? Are we drinking wine? What do we got?
You know, honestly, that depends on the you said the weather.
Yeah, 75 blue skies.
Yeah, but
You
it
know,
also depends
I'm-
on the food. If you're making lamb, you can't be drinking tequila.
No, because here's the thing too.
Chicken,
As a
maybe.
Long
Hey,
Hey,
Islander,
listen,
I
her
have
house,
a
her
lo-
rules.
I have a lot of Montauk Ale stocked in my basement.
Love a good beer.
Which ones though?
The
Which
blue.
one?
What's the blue?
Blue Wave.
The Wave Chaser.
Wait,
Yeah,
no, Wave Chaser's
that's
purple.
purple. Yeah, right.
Oh, the Summer Ale.
Yeah.
Summer ale, yes.
So when I'm barbecuing, I find I have a Montauk Ale in my hand.
I
So
like
honestly,
that.
Have you ever had the Juicy IPA?
from
not talking.
oh no, because we got another.
A Montauk Juicy. It's
So
it's the
good.
pink. It's like the 16-ounce can, the pink one.
So good.
Do you remember the last time we had that?
Juice Bomb. I can't think of. There's a guy up by
Juice
me.
bomb is so good.
What's
Do you
that
remember the
called?
last time we had the Juicy?
No.
Did we
Yes,
get in
you
trouble?
do. Yeah, I did.
Oh, that was that time.
That was
huh?
that time. The Scotch episode, chasing it with
Oh
Juicy.
my God.
I got in trouble that night.
Yes.
Woo!
That's gone long and gone now. There's
That's
no backtrack, so we can talk about it if we wanted to. But
Uh,
yeah, we did an episode once where we taste testing Scotch that were sent to us, and then we were chasing it with Juicy IPA, and then
Got a little loopy.
I ended up in a jail cell.
Yeah.
So
Wait, for real?
for real,
In on Long Island?
for real,
in Queens.
for real.
Oh.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of that moment.
Did you hear that, Holden?
I can laugh at it now, but I'm not proud of that moment.
That's what I used to say
Okay.
to my kids a lot. I would say I would have to stop myself because when I was younger, we broke into some places. And I would start to say it
You
just
do some
naturally.
stupid shit.
And then
when
I
you're
was like,
young, yeah.
and I'm like, when you're 18, I'll tell you.
You do
Yeah.
some stupid shit,
'Cause-
right? We've all done some
Yeah.
stupid stuff
Yeah.
that we're not proud of.
But I
Okay.
also like
You
and
live and you learn.
correct
from
me
it.
if I'm wrong. Like with you with the phone, like how old you were, because I'm totally of an age where there was nothing surveilling
We were the
me.
last generation. before.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
if I'm safe to say, right, 35 and younger, it's a whole different ballgame. They can't really relate to what I'm saying. Or
I would probably say maybe
The first
30.
iPhone came out when I was a senior in high school. I had a cell phone in 8th grade, but it was just a flip phone just to call my parents. And I got.
we weren't like surveilled.
No.
When you were like 12, because there was times where I would be just. We almost got arrested, actually. At one point, I was hanging out when I used to work at Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers in Plainview.
Love Roy Rogers.
On
No
our country
bad.
Now
road.
you're out there. Now you're dating.
That's what I'm saying. And we would like cut up And then one time, like,
One time at Roy Rogers. I feel like it's like a great way to a story.
yes, but there was no like way to really catch what you were doing. Thank God.
I would say
because
I would probably
course.
say maybe I would say maybe like 25 and younger. Okay, because
they don't.
No, I would say like 25 and younger because think about it, we're in 2025.
Because I was still showing up to my buddy's house, knocking on his door, not knowing if he was home or not. I would call his house.
Yeah.
His house phone.
Like
I didn't have no cell phone.
If you're let's say like right now you're 25, it means you were born in 2000. Okay, and you were maybe like 8, 7, 8, 9 in the late 2000s when cell phones were starting to like. Because I remember I got my first cell phone, prepaid Virgin Mobile flip phone. In high school. I was like 15 years old, and I had gotten it because I was on the basketball team, and I would stay later for practices, and my parents would have to come pick me up. They didn't have to pick me up. I would walk home, but they got it in case like I need emergencies. And it was prepaid, right? So that's like I was 15. So I was born in 1990. So that's 2005. Okay, so if you were born in 2000,
my brother was born in 99, and that's where he bordered.
So that's what I'm saying.
really
So I think that maybe 25 and less, like if you're over 25, you were probably that last generation of, 2000s, like you're past 2000, you don't really, now you're 10 years old, 13, 14, 15, it's like 2010s.
Yeah.
You're probably because my wife will be 30 this year, and she didn't have phones. Like we don't. What are you talking about, cell phones? Like I grew up with no cell phones. You grew up with no cell phones. She grew up with no cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that now you get the kids now that
That's all I know.
don't know what it's like to have no internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like when their phone is, and granted, I'm a culprit. I'm very much on my phone a lot, but it's for different reasons. I'm not scrolling. Okay, like I do a lot of like sports betting, so I'm doing a lot of research on my phones. Okay, we're doing social media. We're doing.
Well, yeah, you run a business and.
We're running a business. I'm rarely.
Same for me. I took the Joe Rogan advice early on. He said just post
and go.
Forget
and
it.
go.
Post and go. It's a good.
Don't even because
funny.
I kind of left Facebook behind me. So, some of it, like with the Hudson Valley Herf, it's my Facebook group. But I try to stick with that mentality. I'll post and I'll go. Because then you get like down the rabbit hole. I don't want to do that.
It's funny. My
Plus,
wife and I were
that's
literally
not-
just talking about it yesterday. We were just talking about like, all right, because my wife's not really on her phone, but I am because of everything else that I do. But she's like, Eric, when you come home, we should just she's like, you should not be on your phone. And I said, well, I got it
tough to.
I said, there's other things I have to do. I got to respond to emails. I got to do stuff for work. I said, I have to post. And she goes, that's fine. We just have to say, hey, we got 20 minutes. I got to do this with the baby. You go over here and do whatever you need to do on the phone and then come back. And I was like, it's all about communication, as you know.
Or like put the baby down for a nap and then take your hour.
Do what you got to do. Because it's important. And then sometimes I will catch myself if I'm with my daughter. I'm on my phone. I'm like, all right, I should not be on my phone. And I'll like throw it like on the couch because I'm like, she's never gonna be this small again. I need to soak up as much time as possible.
It goes by so quick.
We go back and forth. Like I said, I'll be on my phone for a lot of like hockey's in full effect right now, and I'm like
love hockey.
Yeah, so I'm
Islander Pat LaFontaine days. I'm the Pat LaFontaine.
We both suck this year, but I have a funny story.
Kind of actually now that I'm upstate, I kind of Rangers because I can't get down to. What is it?
Well, you can be a Buffalo Sabres fan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But like so I'll be on my phone, like I'm doing research. I'm going back and forth between what are the lineups, who's playing against who, and I'm like I have all these tabs I'm going, and like sometimes I'm on it for a while. And I'm like, but I'm like I'll tell them like, honey, this is like I consider this work. Okay, like I'm not just blindly throwing random. I'm considering this work. I'm looking for edges where I can find to make some money. So I'm looking. This is like a work. So I need, honey. I'm gonna need like an hour to finish this, and then so I'm not just sitting there like just scrolling.
Yeah, you're just like looking to be brain dead.
I'm working. I consider this work. I'm doing this for work. Okay,
no doubt.
But yeah, it's actually funny because whenever we're like on FaceTime and I'll like my parents that are in Florida or my in-laws that are in Texas be on FaceTime and I go to show Holden. He doesn't like the phone. Like I'll be talking to him like, hi, yeah, and he's smiling, he's laughing, and then I show him the phone. I'm like, hi, and he's just like, so I'm like, good, but he does like the TV, Now we don't put on like crap. We watch a lot of like homesteading shows.
Is the baby Einstein still a thing these days for the kids?
I don't know. But the only reason what will let him watch
came up on that.
the TV at some points is because so he likes to sleep on one side, and so one side is starting to like flatten a little. So we have to get him to look the other way to strengthen the sides. Yeah. So when we do like tummy time or I hold him, the TV will be on and he'll look to the so I'll be like, okay, it's okay. You can, as long as you're looking in the direction that we need you to look, you can watch the TV for a little bit. Yeah. But whatever's on will be like the homestead rescue, or it'll be like cabin building, or
very non-stimulating.
Like we don't put any like the kids new Bluey. We don't put any. Well,
he's too young for that.
You can watch. You can watch what mom and dad are watching.
They say like
stuff.
really, you really shouldn't have any screen time until the baby's after 2 years old, because there's I was watching this.
It is true.
There's just so much growth between understanding social cues, being social, and just learning how to be bored, learning how to play yourself.
Your facial cues.
Yes.
Well, that's why whenever
100%.
That's why I said the only time that I let him is if I'm holding him and he's turned his head that way. I'll let him.
You want to be able to make sure he's doing.
Because I'm like, I need your head to go that. But whenever he's laying down, he's facing us. He's never facing the TV. Even when
I didn't have a kid, I would notice the families that have little kids and they would just throw the iPad or the iPhone.
Nah, you can't use it. You can't use it as a babysitter. And
that didn't sit well with me.
People
got to do what they got to do to parent their own way. But for me, I'm like, I grew up like talking to my parents, playing tic-tac-toe on the back of the menu, or playing hangman or whatever, and just
the challenge is that we're not. I'm not
naive.
You gotta
be creative.
I'm not naive to say that the kids like they're not gonna have technology around, because we live in a technology age and you need to understand technology. So I'm not naive enough to say, but you can control how much they get. If you don't put an iPad as a babysitter, like
I feel like like you said, to each your own. You can't, I'm not here to preach, but like I am not like, and also I feel like it's the adult, like if you're embarrassed or not. Some people, like I was never embarrassed ever, even in the food store, to start being like kind of sing to my kids, or kind of just be like, all right, like pick out the red box, like if like a Cheez-It red box, like I would kind of play a game. Because I'm not a shy person in that sense, so I kind of embarrass myself.
You are the entertainment.
That's
it's important.
And
that's how I was raised, and I kind of went with that.
He's only 3 months old. Like I said, when he looks at the screen, he's just like, I don't like. But then when he looks at me, and I'm like, he's like, oh yeah.
It's funny if my daughter is getting a little fussy and she's trying to go down for a nap or something like that. My wife found out like within the first, if she's not going down and she's being a little fussy, my wife found out somehow, because she's with the baby every day. Within the first 5 minutes or so of Snow White, the original Snow White, she'll just like calm down and she'll just fall asleep. It's the weird. And I tried it once and I was like, holy shit!
Something that
I don't know
works.
what it is.
Yeah,
it's no longer than like 5 minutes. It's like so bizarre.
See, like with my son, I will on his bridge of his nose. Like if I'm laying him down and he's kind of fussy, I'll shush him, but I'll take my finger and I run on his nose like this, and he's just like.
Any good parenting tips you can give us?
He's like out. He's out. It's like just
that's
this. That's
actually a really good one, and like the touching of the brow.
You know where he gets it?
And
gets from his mom too.
Yeah, that's important. And like I said, not being kind of embarrassed to when you're in public to kind of entertain them in a way, because I've seen where like if a kid's screaming in the supermarket, let's say. I understand it. Like the parent wants to kind of give them a screen or what, kind of like but then that kind of trains them to not handle their emotions, like handle their own, not a tantrum, but like
their emotions
themselves. And my pediatrician always taught us like they need to learn how to self-soothe, which is a real thing.
Yeah.
And as a parent, that's a hard feat, because when they start to cry, but also I would like to do, like, if my kids, we're talking 3 and under, if they would cry or whatever it was, or, supermarket whining, this and that, I would be like, meh. Like, if you kind of...
Yeah, you imitate what they do.
They look at you and they stop right away. Because when you test a kid, like, are they hurt or are they just...
Yeah, they're just being
cranky.
If
they're not hurt, then they stop crying right away. And every time I've ever did it with my kids, like I would kind of cry, not like cry back to them, sort of, or just be like, or I would love to just go like.
Well, like
if you cross, like if you make a funny face, they'll look at you like.
I'll respond to her. She'll be like, "Meh." I'll be like, "And the Rockets led Grant," and she'll be like, I'm Bomber, and she's just be staring at me. And she's
100%.
like, what's going on? I'll like sing the national anthem.
Yeah,
Oh,
singing
like,
to your children.
Well, my son
fixes
sometimes
it.
just like we're feeding him, right? Every 2 ounces we go to burp him, right? So we'll feed him, and then sometimes as soon as you take the bottle out, he's just like wah 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 wah. And I'm like, listen, I need to burp you. I can't just give you the bottle back because you need to burp. So like he'll be like wah wah, and I'll pick him up, and I'm like walking around, I'm like, listen, it's okay, calm down. And then like and then he realizes, like, he calms down, and then he goes, bleh. I said, see, like it was a burp, like it's okay to, and then he'll like calms himself down, bleh, and then I'll put him back, and then because if he does, then there's times where I take the bottle out and he doesn't cry, and then he burps like right away. But sometimes he'll cry because he's like, I want the bottle out. And I go, no, it's okay. We don't need the bottle right now. Your stomach's, you're fine. I need you to burp. And then he'll calm down. He burps, and then he goes back to the bottle. But sometimes like you give him the bottle right away. Say no, because then you give him the bottle right away. He's got the burp in there. You put more formula or breast milk on top of the burp, and then he throws it all up. Yeah. So it's like, and then sometimes when we put him down for a nap, my wife is like, he might wake up, like the pacifier might fall out, or he might startle himself, and he wakes up, he starts crying. She's like, hold on a second, don't go in there just yet. She's like, let's see if maybe he goes back to sleep. And sometimes he does. Yeah. And then sometimes it's like a couple of minutes go by.
Well, they say too, in the first 18 months, you can't spoil your kid, too.
It's very tough.
But
because I just want to hold him all day long.
The only thing, my daughter, knock on wood, basically sleeps throughout the whole night.
Not that I don't mean like you shouldn't. I mean like they can't be spoiled.
No, you got it.
I meant to say.
You got, and like, also it's like sometimes you got to wait because he might be active sleeping, so he might like cry, and then you can tell. Yeah, you can tell when she's one night she's sleeping, she's like, Mwah! And we're like, she's like,
they might be having a nightmare.
Right. Yeah, and then she just stops. But most of the time, she'll usually sleep throughout the night, and then I'll just hear her ruffling around, and I'll hear her like crying or moan, and then I'll give it like a minute or two, and then she keeps going. She's sleeping. I just pop the nunu back in, or the binky, or whatever you want to call it, and she just goes right back. And
you learn about yourself now that you're a parent, right?
100%.
When you look at your baby, that teaches you, right, about it's like a reflection back, and
teaches
you say
patience.
My wife's like, we're patient, we're calm. Ever see the movie Blended with Adam Sandler? And he's like, exciting, romantic, but she'll use that cadence, but she'll be like, we're calm, we're happy.
I love
we're
Adam
calm.
Sandler. Yeah, that's
he's
good.
The man.
Yeah.
He's the man.
No, it's true. And
Are you excited for Happy Gilmore too?
Yeah. Love that guy. But the art of distraction with a child is so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now she my wife will be brushing her hair.
Yeah, look over there.
She'll brush her hair, and she'll want the brush, and she's like, "No, I need to take it back." And she'll be like, "Nah," and she's like, "All right, well here's a toy, or here's the other brush." But it's like today she called me. She's like, "I cannot turn my back without her going nuts."
That's the other thing. The toys. Can't stand when the baby has like 50 freaking toys. You don't need 50 toys. You need like 3. Okay, you give him one when he gets bored of that one. You give him the second one when he gets bored of that one. You give him the third one. He gets bored. You go back to the first one.
Right.
Okay, you don't need a gazillion toys.
Yeah.
But you're right. The art of distraction. Like I was today. He was like in his bouncer, and I was just trying to like let the food digest before we go tummy time, and then put him down for a nap. And
yeah, like how you said, the burping pause. Yeah, that's a real thing. For those who are not a parent,
gotta burp. Yeah,
you might think, what is he talking about?
No,
that's a real thing. The burping.
You gotta burp, right?
Otherwise, you're gonna shove it all down.
Luckily, the bottles now they come like the Dr. Browns. They have that little thing that doesn't give them all that air, but you still gotta burp.
You still gotta burp, yeah. But I was putting him down, right, and he was kind of getting a little. So I started counting to him. I was like, I'm gonna start counting. I'm like, we're gonna learn how to count. Okay, so I was just saying like 1, 2, and I was going through the count, and he's just like looking at me like, like totally distracted. And then I was like, okay, you want to learn it in Italian? I was like, let's do it in Italian. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did it in Italian. It's like, you want to learn it in Spanish? Let's do it in Spanish. 1, 2, 3. I was like, you want to do it in German? 1, 2, 3. I was like, you want to do it in sign language? I was like.
Yeah, I taught my kids sign language.
I went through it like 4 times because a lot of times. So here's the thing.
That's what my wife does.
Yeah,
more. You want more?
And then milk. I think there was something with help.
You want more?
This is milk.
Yeah. They responded to that well.
More milk. But I was telling in sign language. So the thing is, like everybody goes 1, 2, 3. This is not 3 in sign language. This is 3 in sign language. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right. And then
I had to learn sign
but
language
everybody would
in
like
school.
because this is a W,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is if you do this as W, this is a 6, right? So it's all different. But I was doing them in sign language stuff, and then there's like more milk, right? Or like if you want like food.
Yeah,
right?
teach them help.
You want like water.
Yeah,
This is beer. Right?
Hey,
Same thing.
hey, I gave my kids because they're 50% Irish. They and with the sperm too, we had to make sure the Italian counterpoint was in the genes.
You gotta make
Yeah,
sure.
we had to pick the mix, but because they know. I mean, because I tell them like, because whatever. Cut that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh,
The beer.
yeah. Oh, the beer when their first St. Patrick's Day.
Give them a little bit.
Yeah,
Well,
I did.
You want to see something
Little
wild,
taste,
right?
little-
I'll show
Yeah, I
you
was
something.
like, this is the only way.
I'll show
And
you
also,
something.
I never made any of this taboo.
I'll show you something. Ready? Here you
Whenever
go.
they saw me drinking, I would say, "You want to try it?" Which worked because they would think, it's so bitter. That kids, they don't
Yeah.
want nothing to do with bourbon.
Of course they don't. No, never, never,
where is
ever,
it?
ever. They're like, ugh, that's what you drink. I never want to touch that shit.
Yeah, I'm
ever,
like, all right.
ever. Well, where we at, Just? Where we coming out to?
We are almost 2 hours.
All right, so let's coming to the end while Justin is finding whatever.
Here you
he's
go.
finding.
Okay, so this is me. I was maybe 6 months old in Germany with my mother during Oktoberfest.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love that. Oh, you should frame that and put
And
that
she's
in
giving
here.
me my first beer
That's a
Oh, I
sick
love it.
picture.
at 6 months.
I love it. You got to frame that.
Yeah, that's a sick picture. I've never seen that.
Is your mother from Germany?
No, my family is. My mother speaks fluent German. She is not from Germany, but she is German. So to the point where she had actually gone to Germany for 6 weeks. When my grandmother was still alive, she was moving my grandmother from her home into assisted living. So my mother went there for 6 weeks. And she said after the first 2 weeks, it was to the point. So she speaks fluent German, and she looks very German. When she goes there, nobody knows that she's American. She just starts speaking German, and she's got the accent.
Are you 100%? Because to me, you
Yeah.
look German.
I'm 100% German.
He is the German missile.
So,
yeah.
but my mother said after
Missile.
2 weeks, she's like, I was no longer American. She goes, I was thinking German, I was speaking German, I was dreaming German.
That's cool.
She goes, I was like, my English American side of my brain was shut off. She goes, I was no longer I was counting, like everything was German. And when she came back after the 6 weeks, she said it took another 2 weeks for her to go back to English, where to the point she would be like doing the dishes, and she would go and ask my stepdad to go get something can you go get the broom out of the closet?
In German.
And she would just say, can you go get the broom out of the closet? But it came out in German. She didn't know. She was just saying. My stepdad was like, what'd you say? She goes, go get the broom out of the closet. He goes, English. She's like, I'm speaking English. She goes, no, you're still speaking German. So
Yeah.
she had to like retrain to think.
That's cool.
And so that's like, she's full blown. But it was wild. She goes, yeah, it's like, I didn't realize that happened because I never spent that much time there. And she goes, it was like she was dreaming.
day.
It was wild. So anyway.
No, that's cool.
But
that's
the
cool.
little beer thing too. It's like there's always when they're teething, you pull some.
Oh,
in their-
100%.
But anyway, that's we might get CPS called on us.
Nah,
Well-
they called it the sugar tit. In,
The sugar
my,
tit.
In my my in-laws said, yeah.
I like that.
That you never heard that?
No.
That's what they would dip a little rag in like whiskey.
Yeah, a little
Give him a little taste.
Yeah.
Little taste.
Like
taste of the
teething
glory.
kids.
Yeah.
Which we should go back to that.
Well, Angela, we're coming to the
Yes,
end of
red
the
carpet
pod.
time. Red carpet time.
And at this point of the pod, we like to kind of give you the red carpet and kind of just shamelessly plug away your socials.
What did we even talk about on this?
I got
We were all over the place.
speak for yourself. there. Speak for yourself, just. But we like to give you the red carpet where you can shamelessly plug away your socials, any events that you got going on. Just kind of give people a taste of what you're doing and where they can find you.
Well, I'm going to put this into the air because I do want my own cigar one day. So we're going to, manifest that into the air. But
Nice.
that's, to come. And but the June 21st thing, which we're all going to be there, these guys are going to be representing. So shout out to Jesse and his team and Eric and all them. But I am on Spotify, YouTube, you could find me, Puros and Music Podcast. Instagram, Puros and Music Podcast. I'm sure maybe they'll put a link. You can find me on Instagram. But, with the whole cigar thing, it's a little sketchy trying to get more growth now, today.
Don't we know
today.
that?
Because, it used to be better. Like, a lot of the people that you'd see, your followers, and then, like, you'd open up Instagram the next day, and, like, 10 will be gone. And I'm like, it used to not really be like that. So, anyhow. So, you know where to find me. I don't have a website right now. That's coming next. But Hudson Valley Herf on Facebook.
What about the YouTube? Authentically Angela?
Yeah.
Perfect.
A lot of names.
We'll put all the links in the description below. But Angela, we appreciate you coming down from the Hudson Valley to Long Island, and it's been a great last 2 hours. We hope you enjoyed.
Give yourself a little extra sweet.
I got a smidge left. Left.
Okay.
So
thank you for having me.
Of course. Being Italian, we like to say on the podcast as our signature send off. Cheers, chin chin, and salute, my friends. Thank you.
Cheers.